A very good morning and welcome to the first European Rotax racing event of the new 2025 season, the Rotax Max Challenge Winter Series, live from here in northern Italy at the same circuit which hosts a round of the World Superbike Championship each year, and it's back as well here for 2025. This is the Rotax Max Challenge Winter Series, round 1 of 2 for 2025. You may remember in 2024, it was the rain in Spain which fell right on top of us all weekend in Campillos last year for the Winter Cup. Well, I can tell you on Friday, we had even worse conditions than that. It was torrential, the rain blowing in sideways, incredibly cold. The CREMONA circuit resembling a lake in parts, but fortunately the sun is shining here this morning. It was -1 degrees this morning, but it's out, well, the sun is out and it is up to 5 degrees Celsius. Fortunately, we are ready to race on a dry circuit here this morning for the first European Rotax event of the new year. DD2 and DD2 Masters will be the first of our pre-finals this morning. And then, of course, we bring you the 4 finals live from here at the CREMONA circuit, 1.224 kilometres. Still quite cool here this morning, but as I say, the track is dry, with the exception of, well, there's still quite a few lakes on the infield, but well, quite a few karts coming to grief yesterday when they did go off the circuit, if they ventured off the racing line. We are ready to race here for the first of our pre-finals. Great to have you come wherever you are watching us live around the world. The Rotax Max Challenge Winter Series for 2025. The karts coming in. This is the first of our pre-finals, DD2 and DD2 Masters. The 19-year-old Englishman Will Elswood on pole position, Rania Vidas out of 2. Jakob Beschel, former Euro champ, Len Nyes out of 4. Zenderu, new World Grand Finals champion, now in Masters. Tenscher, Mandel, Nico Picol, Ben Dejabo, second in the Euro Series last year. And Laurens Herbert from Saint-Truden in Belgium out of grid 10. Will Christensen, second in the Winter Cup last year, out of grid 11. Stampex Klein, and it's Dusan Radajovic, the now South African, Nieuwenhausen, Mika van der Pavel, Ludovic Sabaran, William Nordbeck, Fabio Creti in the Haas kart, and Jamie Smith, the South African, out of grid 20. Philip Moizzi, Dimon Nota Francesco, back with us for the 2025 season. Danneberg, Guillaume, Gedolaitis, Fernandez, the second South African, and Keith Wilson on the final grid position. We'll have another at this fabulous facility which hosted a round of the World Superbike Championship for the first time last year. That's back on the calendar the first week of May, but this is the first racing event for 2025, certainly for the Rotax Winter or the Rotax European season. As you look at Will Elswood, the Englishman on pole position in the CS55 kart. Look at the mud on the infield. So many karts coming to grief yesterday. A little bit of standing water to the left of your, or the middle of your screen, to the right of the racing line, well off the racing line. Thankfully, the track is dry. Still very, very cold here this morning. Literally below freezing. A little bit of breeze picking up as we get ready to race for the first of our pre-finals here this morning. The Rotax Max Challenge Winter Series, DD2 and DD2 Masters. The Masters drivers, Zenderu, who actually incredibly took outright victory in heats 2 and 3 yesterday. The Slovenian 535 out of grid 5. The first of the Masters drivers. The second is Nicolas Picol, 517 out of grid 8. Fabio Creti in the Haas kart, and Dimon Nota Francesco. The Masters drivers with karts numbered 500 and Will Elswood in kart 401 on position 1 for the German Craft Motorsport team. Flicks it into first gear, leads them up to the line. They'll roll it into neutral. He'll try and flick it into gear with maximum RPM at exactly the same time. Get the jump. Welcome to CREMONA in the European racing event of the 2025 season. We, for the first time in the new year here at CREMONA, around the outside, Rania Vidas with a super start. And the 441 Birilat goes through to take the lead. Former Grand Finals champion slots up into P1. Great start. Len Nyes, the Belgian, that's him in P3. Manuel Tenscher, the Austrian, on the back of the Belgian. The Englishman, William Ellswood, from pole position in second place. A clean start here this morning for the DD2 and DD2 final. So they make their way up into turn 10. There's Nicolas Picot. He's made a good start. Zenderu, the two drivers. And they come across the line for the first time. And it's the Estonian in P1. The Masters drivers, 5 and 6. Nicolas Picot gets the jump last year. Nicolas Picot, who took the European title last second in the Winter Cup in company, lost last year, but rounded out a fantastic 2024 season with victory in Sano in the Rotax Max Grand Finals. Nicolas Picot, P5, Zenderu, now racing Masters, also a Grand Finals champion. First Masters race, a position behind the French veteran in P6, then Ben Dejabo, Mendel, Jakob Beschel, former Euro champ, and Frederic Jebesh for the Stampex Motorsport team rounds out the 10. Christensen, 444, second in the Winter Cup last year. The Dane for RS competition as we look at the Masters drivers, the two Tony Kart drivers, Picot and Zenderu, 5 and 6 outright, but fighting for victory in the pre-final in the Masters category. There's Will Ellswood, who's starting to lose touch, just a fraction in the opening stages of the DD2 and DD2 Masters pre-final here this morning, coming under attack from Len Nyes, who looks back over his shoulder to the Austrian, Manuel Tenscher, and Len Nyes goes down the inside. The Belgian goes up to P2. Nice pass by Len for the Shepherds Racing team. That's the 417 Kart Republic. Just throws it into the final corner, tries to get the run. As they come across the line to start lap 4 at 126 k's an hour for Manuel Tenscher. There's the Austrian 484 in the KSB Birilat team, the famous team from Austria, racing with us in Rotax, also over the past decade or more in KZ2 as well. Tenscher back to 3. There's William Ellswood, the 19-year-old from Somerset in the very southwest of England. Former British Kart Masters champion. Fastest qualifier on Friday in atrocious conditions. 1 minute 8.8. That was fast enough for pole, with visibility at a minimum. And so was grip for that matter. It was freezing cold. The rain was coming in sideways. Will Ellswood took pole position in time qualifying. Started from pole for this, the pre-final this morning, with the Brit drops back to P3 from the Austrian. As Ranja Vidas, the former Grand Finals champion from Estonia, a small nation in the north of Europe which has got an increasingly strong motorsport heritage. So many Estonian drivers racing with us here this weekend and throughout the European Rotax series. Think of famous names: Paul Aron, Ralph Aron, the two Aron brothers, Kevin Corges, Marco Asma as well, from the small nation which are making their mark on world motorsport, as Ranja Vidas does likewise in the first of our pre-finals this morning. Check the gap, back to Len Nyes. It's come down to half a second as the Belgian puts in a 49.581. Nicolas Picot, Will Christensen in 444, the Dane, for the Danish RS competition team of Roush Lundsen. Neuenhausen, Lawrence Herbal, that's the second Belgian. Jebesh, he's dropped back to 14 ahead of Mika van der Palve, who is involved in a huge crash yesterday. We'll take this brief opportunity just to mention that Ludovic Sabaran, the Canadian, is not taking part this morning. A frightening crash right there as they came onto the straight in Heat 3 yesterday. Ludovic Sabaran, we wish him all the best in his recovery. Mika van der Pavert, courageously, without exaggeration, risked his own life to run across the circuit and drag Ludovic off to the side of the circuit. The race was red flagged. Mika van der Pavert deserves huge congratulations for his efforts. That was incredibly, unbelievably sporting for Mika van der Pavert. He's up into 14th place, hoping to finish the weekend better than it's been so far. Mika, the Dutchman, ahead of Philip Moitzi. Nicholas Picot has dropped back to 16. As Ranja Vidas has now been caught by Len Nice. 0.333 of a second, the Belgian behind the Estonian. They come across the line. Second half of the pre-final this morning, you can see Will Ellswood has dropped back. Almost 2 seconds back is the Brit. From the two Austrians, Manuel Tenschert, Leon Mandel, and Bende Jabor. Bende Jabor, third in last year's European Championship. The Hungarian back with us for 2025. Up into 6th place, ahead of the former Euro champ from the Czech Republic, Jakub Beschel, who overcomes the first of the Masters drivers, Zendaru, who drops back to P8. Len Nye still with time, and he's got the speed. The Czech Republic on the back of the Birulat, they race across the line. He gets the slipstream again at 124 k's an hour. Bende Jabor is the fastest on the circuit with a 49.532. Just to give you an indication of how bad the conditions were on Friday, they're lapping 20 seconds faster than their qualifying time 48 hours ago. Down the back straight, Ranja looks back to Len, who does likewise. Likewise, it's a long distance. Back to Will. The Englishman for Kraft Motorsport, the German team with the two Birulats behind, both from Austria, Manuel Tenschert, Leon Mandel, and then the fastest driver on the circuit, Bende Jabor, who's having his own battle with Jakub Beschel, and the Czech has just gone by in the background to take P6. Five laps remaining, including this, the first pre-final of 2025. DD2, you know the attack is coming from Len Nies. The Belgian on the back of the Estonian. Len, of course, with experience. Rotax Max Senior, direct drive okay, and now in DD2 for the first of 2 rounds, the Rotax Max Challenge Winter Series here at Cremona in the north of Italy. The sun is shining, it is still freezing here. Slowly the Mojo rubber starting to go down on this 6/8 of a mile circuit, 1,224 metres to the rest of us. That's a passing opportunity into the triple right-hander there. This is another one coming up. Len Nies knows he's got time. Now he gets the slipstream on the back of the Estonian. Looks back behind him, back to Will. Here comes the attack. Watch it into turn 3. Ranja Vidas closes the door. The Estonian not being intimidated, despite the fact that clearly the Shepherds Racing Czech Republic has got the speed, although I speak too soon, because in that sector, Ranja Vidas pulls away ever so slightly. Ellswood in the background. The Kraft Motorsport drivers, Will Ellswood, Jakub Beschel from the Czech Republic. Jakub in the CS55 car. The Carlos Sainz machine, which was launched by the now Williams Formula 1 Grand Prix driver at this very circuit just on 12 months ago. The Spanish driver, formerly with Ferrari, now as a kart manufacturer, now with the Williams Formula 1 team, and it's the German Kraft Motorsport outfit flying the flag for the CS55. Will Ellswood 401, Jakub Beschel 405. They're in the background as the leaders pull away. 2.5 laps remaining. There are the Kraft Motorsport karts with the Birulats mixed in that battle. Ellswood, Beschel in 3 and 5. Tenschert and Bende Jabor in 4 and 6. Ranja Vidas, P1. Will Ellswood, as it stands at the moment, this is provisional. Put an asterisk beside this statement. The Brit would still start from pole position for the final later this afternoon. Combined points from the pre-final and the 3 heats held over the past 2 days. Will Ellswood, P3, would be enough for the Brit to start from pole position for the final later this afternoon. At the moment, he's in P3. Just got a glimpse of the yellow flag. It looks as though we've lost the Italian Fabio Cretti. Track is now back green and clean. Len Nice running out of time. Last lap this time round for Ranja Vidas. In fact, it was Nieuwenhausen who is out. He has retired. And the Dutch-speaking driver in second place trying to close down on the Estonian. And Len Nice, as it stands, would start grid 4 for the final. That will change if he can make a move in this, the remaining kilometre of the first of our pre-finals here this morning. Clips the ripple strip, does Ranja Vidas. DD2, still Zendoru, the first of our Masters drivers. Will Ellswood, P3. That will be enough for the Brit to take pole position for the final this afternoon. There's the Craft Motorsport driver. Drivers, plural, because Jakob Beschel has got by Manuel Tenshirt. Ranja Vidas leaves the door open, doesn't need to defend. He's got enough of a gap. He goes through the final corner, and the checkered flag will wave for the first time this morning. And the Estonian, the former Rotax Max Grand Finals champion, Ranja Vidas, takes victory. Len Nice second, Will Ellswood P3 for Craft Motorsport. And with that, the Brit finishes on 7 points. Provisionally, that is enough for the Englishman to stand on pole position for the final this afternoon. There's Lawrence Herbold crossing the line ahead of Dunneberg's Fernandez. Timo Notafrancesco, third Masters driver's home. There is actually Fabio Cretti. It was not he. He does take the checkered flag in the Haas kart. Noyes Gedulaitis crosses the line as the final finisher after the retirement of Luca Nieuwenhausen for Stampex Motorsport. Ranja Vidas takes victory in the first of our pre-finals this morning. The Rotax Max Challenge Winter Series here at Cremona. Vidas wins at Len Nice P2, 0.3 of a second. It was enough for the Estonian not to have to defend at the race end. Will Ellswood P3 and provisionally pole position for the final this afternoon, just ahead of his Craft Motorsport teammate Jakob Beschel. Tenshirt, Bende Jabal, Zenderu, the first of the Masters drivers in P7. Christensen, Will, 444 into P8, ahead of Klein and Frederick Jebisch. Fought back to finish in P10, just ahead of Mendel from Austria. Credit once again, we cannot underline it enough. Mika van der Pavel coming home in P12 after that crash yesterday in one of the most sporting actions we have seen in the past half decade or more. Good result for Mika van der Pavel ahead of Philip Muizzi and Nicolas Picot. The third Masters drivers home finishes in P14. Ranja Vidas takes victory in our first pre-final this morning and provisionally will line up on grid 2 for the final later this afternoon. The Rotax Max Challenge, the Winter Series here at Cremona. Will Ellswood, P3 across the line. Provisionally, that is enough for the former British Kart Masters champion to start from pole position later this afternoon. You're watching us live around the world on Motorsport TV. First of 2 rounds, 2024, the Rotax Max Challenge. Now the Winter Series superseding the Winter Cup. You may remember the rain in Spain in Campillos just on 12 months ago. Last year, DD2 was won by Enzo Boll, who went on to take the European Championship. Well, that was the European Championship. Head of Zenderu, who's now racing in Masters, and Bende Jabal. The Winter Cup was won by Martinias Tankavicius from Nicolas Picot and Fabian Bock in DD2 Masters. Patrick Lochmelis from Will Christensen, who's just crossed the line. And David Arletner was P3. The second of our pre-finals here this morning, Rotax Mini. Jeff Verbeeke will start from pole position alongside the now Brit, Leo Livings for KR Sport. We continue racing here this morning at Cremona, the Mini Max pre-final. The temperature up to 5 degrees Celsius. Hopefully we do just reach double figures this afternoon after it was -1 this morning, driving into this fabulous Cremona circuit. Jeff Verbeke on pole position, leads the field out on track. This is the grid. The Belgian on pole for Bouvin Power, Leo Livings, the Ukrainian, now British. KR Sport driver out of grid 2, then Tom Reed. Oliver Spencer, P2 last year. Mark Quesada, Mario Roberto. The British Italian, she's out of 6, ahead of Alfie Garrett, Alfie Ward, Alex Barone, and Hans Klavs out of grid 10. Patrick Yoches, Dominic Rocha, Alfie Mao, Christian Abels for the Dams Racing Team. Ken Oetzler, Turbo Kevin out of 16. Ilari Harmanen, Grigic, Isaac Yoon from South Korea. And Jonas Bundis, Pashke Racing out of grid 20. Vesneva, Freikberg on the 11th row of the grid. Rakowski, Lappens, who had a broken chain in the very first heat on Friday. Pieter Detzani, Rampadarath for Stampex Motorsport. To Spike, Ulbrich Hammer. And Ivo Oss starts out of grid 30. The final row of the grid, Lumi Pustanen and Max Konovos, the Latvian, out of grid 32. Another formation lap. Jeff Verbeke, Bouvin Power. Had a fabulous run throughout the heats, finishing or winning 2 of his heats. We're looking for Oliver Spencer, who was looking to take pole position. Was looking good to take pole position, in fact, right up until the second lap of the final heat when he was sent into the grass. Fell back to grid or position 26 off the start. Oliver Spencer would be starting on pole position, but for that incident, taking nothing away from Jeff Verbeke. 1-4-2 is behind Leo, 1-7-7. The KR Sport drivers, 2-4-6 on the grid. Maria Roberto, the British Italian, she's had a super weekend. Fastest in her group of qualifying on Friday in the pouring rain. Almost took pole position outright, did Maria. 1-5-2 for KR Sport. She starts out of grid 6 alongside the MKC Motorsport driver from France, Mark Quesada. Jeff Verbeke, Bouvin Power, the Belgian, on pole position, 1-2-6 the Tony Kart. Leo Livings, the Ukrainian Brit, now out of grid 2 for KR Sport. The Cosmics, the team from the Silverstone Formula 1 Grand Prix circuit. The blue and white machines, 2-4-6 on the grid. But it's Bouvin Power of Jeff Verbeke in the erste Position. A Mini Max pre-final here at Cremona. We race. Fantastic start from Leo on the outside. Jeff Verbeke almost into the grass. The Belgian almost went rallycross and he slots into P4 behind Mario Roberto as the KR Sport drivers muscle their way into the lead. Diving down the inside, Tom Reed goes through. He's up into P4. What a start from 2-4-6 on the grid. The KR Sport drivers, they now trade positions as Oliver Spencer slips down the inside to take the race lead. Oliver Spencer, second last year in the Winter Cup at Campios, goes wide. Livings in P2. The Brit with the Ukrainian flag, helmet colours, in second place. Here is Maria, just ahead of Tom Reed, behind Roberto. Tom in P4. The team driver ahead of Jeff. Back to P4. Sada, Garrett, Klavs, just ahead of Patrico and Alfie Med, Turbo Kevin, Ken Oetzler and Dominic Rocha. A clean start for the Mini Max pre-final. And it's the KR Sport drivers, 1, 2 and 3. Tom Reed on the back of Maria Roberto. The home race for her. Move in the background, Mark Quesada and Ford. Reed still in 4. Alfie Ward, 183 for MLC Motorsport. British driver, British team. And the same can be said for the leader as well. Oliver Spencer, a perfect start from grid 4. Halfway through the first lap, took the lead from his teammate Leo in place. So Reed slips by. He's got by and taken Maria Roberto into third place from Tom. Back to Maria. Then Alf Ward, Mark Quesada, Jeff Verbeeke from pole position. The Belgian back to P7 ahead of Garrett. Baroni, Matt, Joches, Hans, Ken Otzler. Move down the inside. Mark Quesada, NKC Motorsport. The team from Lago di Como within walking distance south of the Swiss border. Mokai, MKC. Mark Quesada, the French driver, slips by. Makes his way up through and takes another one as well. Roberto on the outside. She loses 2 positions as Alfie Ward slips on by as well. Spencer leads by 7/10 of a second. Back to Livings, who's being attacked by Tom Reed. He's the fastest driver on the circuit at the moment. The move inevitable on Leo Livings, whether it's successful or not, as he clips the ripple strip going down the back straight. Extra couple of engine RPM, looks back over the right shoulder, back to Mark Quesada, the French driver for the MKC Motorsport team. Leo Livings in second place. I've got news for him though. And for the KR Sport team, he's engaged. Word just coming through from race control, under investigation. Scrap that. It's a 5-second penalty. Leo Livings with a 5-second penalty. It drops him way down to 18th position. There's the board to the left of your screen. He gets the news now as he gets a tap as well from Tom Reed, who dives down the inside. Tom Reed second, Leo Livings third on the road with that 5-second penalty. 17th position, a disaster for the 177 KR Sport team driver. Quesada, fourth on the road, now moves up to third. 5-second penalty to Leo Livings on the centre of your screen. Drops way down the order. That has implications for the grid this afternoon as we move into the second half of the Minimax final here. Oliver Spencer pulling away and pulling clear. He was second in the pouring rain in the south of Spain in Campios in 2024. But now the KR Sport driver, P1, and pulls away. Look at the lead from Oliver. Spencer across the line, 54.2 that time. Alfie Mayer with a 54.001 fastest on circuit. Fastest in a straight line is Alfie Garrett. MLC Motorsport, 106 kilometres an hour. And for our viewers watching on live in the United Kingdom, you know that equates to roughly 64, 65 miles an hour. Maybe 63. It's over 100 clicks for the rest of us. Garrett from Jeff Verbeeke. Joches. Hans. 5-second penalty to Leo Livings. Puts him in P12, so he's starting to recover. He's on the centre of your screen. P3 on the road. 5-second penalty for that starting infringement. It was a super start. It was too good. And he cops a 5-second penalty. He's coming under attack from Mark Quesada. The lead from Oliver Spencer, 1.3 seconds. Tom Reed, P2. Quesada, head of Ward, now Maria Roberto. Garrett, Jeff Verbeeke. 9th on the road with that penalty. 8th outright as Mark Quesada slips down the inside. Nice move on the penalised KR Sport team driver. Racing in the British Championships. Throughout 2024 competitively. And now first European race for 2025 in the Euro Series. He starts the morning with a 5-second penalty. P12 trying to minimise that. Look at the lead from Oliver Spencer. 2 laps remaining. There's Jeff Verbeeke in the background trying to minimise the damage. Patrikas, his Boulevard Power teammate, just behind Hans Klavs, rounds out the 10 from Odsla. Livings with that penalty, still P12 from Tristan Abels. Great recovery from the Latvian Lapins. Martins in the energy cart has come storming through to P15 after starting near on the back of the grid. He was behind it from Friday when he broke a chain in the very first heat. Lapins now knocking on the door of the top 10. Having said that, he just loses a position. Same could be said for the MLC Motorsport driver. Alfie Garrett loses a position as the Boulevard Power drivers try to minimise the damage. This is the last lap for Oliver Spencer on his way to victory. Jeff Verbeeker, incredibly, it would still be enough for the Belgian, courtesy of his super run throughout the heats, to start from pole position this afternoon in the final. Oliver Spencer, if he wins this, which is looking likely, in half a lap's time, will start inside second row of the grid. Tom Reed, P2 on the road, would start outside front row of the grid. We'll get back to that in a moment. There's Roberto Maria behind Patrikas and Jeff, the Boulevard Power teammates. Oliver Spencer rounds the final few corners, and the checkered flag will wave. Mini Max goes to the Brit, goes to the KR Sport team driver. He takes victory, and with that grid 3 for the final this afternoon. Perfect drive from grid 4 to win here in convincing style this morning. Abels, Freitberg, Rochalski, Grigic, there's Baroni, Turbo, Pundish, Detsani, Harmonen, Pieta, Rampadara, Fubrikama, Vesnava, Os, Spike, Konovos, and Pustanen. About to cross the line now is the Finn. Lumi as the final finisher in P31. We take a look at the highlights, a look at the start from Leo Livings. It was great, it was too good. And he would cop a 5-second penalty, ultimately to finish in P12. His teammate Oliver Spencer pulling on clear to take the race lead and pull away and take victory. Nice pass that by Mark Quesada down into the pit hairpin at the end of the pit straight. Reed up into second place. Tom Reed in the SFR Motorsport, the Gillard, P2 and Grid 2 for the final this afternoon. Oliver Spencer takes victory in the Minimax pre-final. P3 for the Brit this afternoon. Jeff Verbeeker crosses the line there in P8. Incredibly, the Belgian for Boulevard Power, it's enough for pole position for the final of Minimax this afternoon. Oliver Spencer takes the victory. Tom Reed second, Quesada, Alfie Mayer, Ward, Garrett, Patrikas and Jeff, the two Boulevard Power teammates. Roberto, Hans Klav, Osler and Leo Livings with that 5-second penalty, classified officially in 12th place. Jeff Verbeeker, pole position for the final of Mini Max this afternoon. Alongside will be Tom Reed. Oliver Spencer takes victory in the Mini pre-final. That's enough for Oliver to start inside. That is crucial here at Cremona. Inside second row of the grid for the final later this afternoon. Just a light breeze blowing here this morning. As you can see, beautiful blue winter sky, ready to race. The Junior Max pre-final here. Harry Freeman to start from pole position. Certainly a contender here today. Trent Valley Car Club champion from 2024. The KR Sport team driver alongside Shun Sekiguchi for Dan Holland Racing. 33 junior cars to come out onto the circuit to race the junior pre-final. Just waiting for the word from our race director, Mr. Alessandro Ferrari. Just a moment before the start of Rotax Junior. Before we do race, let's take a moment to check out some of the highlights from this week in Junior Max here at Cremona. Shun Sekaguchi took pole position 48 hours ago, the Asian champion for the Den Holland racing team. In pouring rain on Friday, a 1:08.677, would you believe? A 68-second lap time in the rain. Took pole position for the Den Holland racing team and starts out at grid 2 in just a moment. Max Sadurski, he was fastest in the second group of qualifying for Junior Max. The Dutchman's had an up and down weekend, has been quick, but a DNF in the first heat with an electrical issue has put the Dutchman further down the grid than he'd like. Stampex Motorsport, Max Sadurski, starting on the 12th row of the grid. He is quick though. The 297 Kart Republic, Stampex Motorsport. The driver van the Netherlands. Watch for Max to come charging through in Junior Max, but it's Harry Freeman who will lead the field out in just a moment. The green flag flies on the grid. The 125 Junior Max engines fire into life, and it's the KR Sport driver Harry Freeman who leads the field out onto the circuit. We'll take a look at the grid. It's the KR Sport 277 Cosmic on pole, alongside Shun Sekaguchi, the fastest qualifier, the Scotsman Cole Denham, Dragos Vasil Kute from Romania. Out of grid 4, Ryan Gandor, the Canadian, Vilmos, the Hungarian. Great run this weekend. Out of grid 6, Christian Saracen, Albert Friend, last year's Winter Cup champion, Harry Taylor and Kai Clark. Out of grid 10, Alex Rogalski, the Northern Irishman, Rory Armstrong, moves up to P12 after a forgettable run in qualifying in the rain. Aaron Unludigan, Malmstedt, Polak, Bram van der Werken, Mikael Zajac, Matej Kobakidze from Georgia, Saltish and Rogers Tyler, Archie out of grid 20. Matteo Nactino, Nathan Kappen, MLC Motorsport driver, the Indian from the Emirates, Leo Gonzalez, the Spanish-Swiss driver, Max Sadurski, watch him out at 24, Tushek, Yuch, that's Leopold from Bahrain now, the German, Abbas, Branislav Renka, Luan Seidel, Emanuele Rosselli, Consta Sibile, Kieran Stewart, another Scottish driver, and Unto Lakkinen rounds out the field. Another formation lap. Watch out also for Branislav Renka. 215 LSR Racing, the Slovakian. A DNF, a crash yesterday in the final heat, has put Branislav further down the field than he'd like. Back on grid 28, Branislav Renka just behind the German, now from Bahrain, in the RS card, colours of Ralf Schumacher Racing. Leopold Yuk, Forza Bahrain Racing 203. And as we say, watch for Max Sadurski, 297, to come storming through the field. He starts out at grid 24, but it's Harry Freeman, the centre of your screen, 277. The KR Sport on pole position. The Den Holland Racing attack being led by Shun Sekaguchi, Cole Denham 262 inside second row of the grid, and Ryan Gandor for KR Sport 204. Harry 277, the centre of your screen, leads the field up to the line. Shun Sekaguchi, Den Holland Racing 258 on the outside front row of the grid to be on the right of your screen. The Junior Max pre-final, Freeman on pole position. We race. Sekaguchi has missed the start. He's back to second, third, fourth, fifth. He's almost off the road into the marbles. A disastrous start for the 2024 Rotax Max Asian champion. Sekaguchi from grid 2 will be lucky to finish the first lap inside the top 5. A race down the back straight. Harry Freeman with a perfect start from pole position. KR Sport drivers go 1-3. Ryan Gandor makes his way up through. Cole Denham, 262. Glued to the back of the Englishman is the Scotsman. KR Sport, Den Holland Racing, this battle, which we've seen in Rotax Racing for the best part of, well, over a decade now. It rages on here in the Junior Max pre-final here at Cremona. Harry Freeman across the line for the first time. Denham in second place, dives down the inside. Sayerson for the RS competition team, sends it on Ryan Gandor. Rogalski, Avasil Kulte, and Sekaguchi fights back as well. Now he's off into the marbles. A disastrous start to the Minimax pre-final. Shun Sekaguchi falls down the order. P8 at the moment, just comes through now. And he's coming under attack as well. Taylor, Unludigan, Rory Armstrong, the Northern Irishman, comes roaring up through the field. His Scottish teammate in second place. There's Ryan Gandor. Up into P4 now is the Canadian. It's Freeman who leads from Denham. Sayerson, Radowski, Gandor and Dragos Avasil Kulte. So Harry Freeman starting to pull out ever so slightly from Cole Denham. Christian for the RS competition team, the Danish driver, the Danish team here in the north of Italy. On the back of the Scotsman for Dan Holland Racing, KR Sport position 1. Harry Freeman, potentially the biggest win of his career this afternoon, has to do it in the pre-final. It's looking good for the Trent Valley Kart Club champion. One of the most famous clubs in the world, one of the most famous circuits in the world, of course. Talking about Paul Fletcher International, the PFI circuit. He's the champion of that track last year. He now leads in the pre-final, throws it down into turn 1, loses a little bit of time. Cole Denham, Dan Holland Racing just behind. The Brits, 1 and 2. The Dane up into P3. Rogalski up into P4. KRK Racing, superstar from the pole. Quite a distance back there. He is in the background. Dragos, the Austrian-Romanian, Kai Clark, Ryan Gandor. Sekaguchi back to P8. Ahead of last year's Minimax Winter Cup champion. Albert Friend, Unludigan, Armstrong, Villasitz. Max Sadursky, Grid 24, up into 11th place. A storming drive from the Dutchman. Ahead of Villasitz, Nathan Kappen. Kobekitze, Taylor, Saltish, Polak. We go back to the battle for the front. Again, Harry just throws it down into turn 1. Holds the lead from Cole Denham. Denham also with experience in OK Junior, a couple of races in WSK for the Ward Racing team. Starts 2025 for Dan Holland Racing. Skates under brakes, spectacular from the Scotsman. We are about to approach the second half of the Junior Max final. As we see Kai Clark go by. Has taken P4. Nicely done by Clark in the background. His teammate for KR Sport continues to lead. Defends as they come across the line. Denham tries the outside at 119 kilometres an hour. Fastest driver on the circuit is Albert Friend with a 51.5. Sadursky stuck behind Rory Armstrong, who himself is trying to get by Aaron Unludigan. The Turk holds out the final position inside the top 10. Freeman, Denham and Saracen. Watch the Dane, holds on to the wheel in spectacular fashion. The 298 Tony Kart, Ralph Schlunsen competition. The Danish team back with us for the 2025 Rotax Max Euro Trophy Championship season. Back to Clark, he's pulling away from Rogalski. Dragos, Sekaguchi P7 from Gandor, Friend, Unludigan, Armstrong, Sadursky, Kappen, Kobekitze. Defense again from Freeman, needs to be careful, or Cole Denham will just send him, particularly this corner here. Again, he defends. One of the best passing opportunities on the circuit down into turn 3. Down through the chicane. Slightly sideways, stays off the ripple strips. Another passing attempt. Looks back over his right shoulder. Does Harry. Back to Cole and Christian in P3, the leading trio. Then we go back to Kai Clark. 2.5 seconds behind. There's the second KR Sport team driver, Dragos Avasil Kulte, the Austrian-Romanian. As now we see Cole go on by Freeman, who has defended for the first part of the Junior Max pre-final. And it's the Scotsman who leads here in the north of Italy for Dan Holland Racing. Stares back over his right shoulder. Freeman looks to fight back. Sekaguchi back into P6 has just set the track alight with a 51.4. The fastest driver on circuit. He was 1 second a lap faster than the 3 drivers on your screen last time round. Bottom left of your screen confirms it. Sure, they were fighting, but the Japanese missile trying to catch up for that disastrous start. Denham leads. Freeman. And then the rest of the pack. Christian. RS competition. Defensive line from Cole Denham. On this lap 8 of 13 leaves the door open. Oh, that was close from Harry. Thought about making a move on the Scotsman. Keep it clean, boys. That's what the race. Here's Christian under attack. Here comes Kai Clark, and Dragos is there as well. NKC Motorsport, the Romanian Austrian. 3 laps now remaining in the Junior Max pre-final. Freeman with the race lead. Christian still there in second place. Third place, in fact. Cole Denham, we're watching out for Shun Sekaguchi. In the background, he tries the highline on Dragos. Freeman looking good. Shun Sekaguchi fastest on circuit considerably. Cole Denham, P2 for the Scotsman in 2.62. 2 laps now remaining in the Junior Max pre-final. Freeman still in the race lead, the dying stages of the Junior Max pre-final here. There's Christian back in P3, the final attack. You know it's coming up from Cole Denham. They go down the back straight. Harry Freeman defends Christian in the background. Kai Clark up into P4 from Dragos. Shun, Albert Frenny P7, Ryan Gandor. Max Sadursky P9. A stunning drive from grid 24. Sadursky inside the top 10 in the Stampex Motorsport Kart Republic. Last lap this time. The Brits, 1 and 2. Harry puts the kart in the middle of the circuit. They race across the line. There's Clark back in P4 from Dragos. The Romanian Austrian for MKC Motorsport has driven well in the pre-final. Off the road! Having said that, he's just gone off the road. Together with Sekaguchi. Sekaguchi and Dragos off the road. They drop down the order. The disastrous morning continues for the fastest qualifier. The final few corners. Harry Freeman defending from Cole Denham. The final passing opportunity coming up. Harry, he's driven defensively the whole race. He continues into the final corner. For KR Sport from Great Britain, it will be Harry Freeman who takes victory in the Junior Max pre-final. Cole Denham second and Christian home in third. Max Sadursky finishes a sensational P6 from grid 24. What a drive from the Dutchman. Glenn Abbas just crossing the line, head of Tushek. We take a look at the highlights. Shun Sekaguchi from grid 2 into the marbles, back into 7th place off the start. Harry Freeman with the race lead from Cole Denham, defended for the first half of the race. Christian driving up into P3 for RS competition. A messy race for Shun Sekaguchi, fastest on circuit, but then was into the marbles in the early stages, fell down the order again as he ultimately would. Harry Freeman defending from Christian Teresen and Cole Denham. who just sent it into the penultimate corner in the final few laps. Took the race lead. Harry Freeman back to second, but retook the lead. They went side by side across the line at over 120 kilometres an hour. Christian going on through on Cole into second place, defending from the Scotsman, trying to attack Freeman. They had their own battle, which allowed Freeman just to pull away ever so slightly. Shun Sekaguchi making his way back through the field, up into P6, but then it all went wrong on the final lap when Dragos and Shun came together. Freeman, a defensive masterclass, takes victory from Cole Denham and Christian Sederson in the Junior Max pre-final this morning. Freeman with the win, Denham second, Christian third, Kai Clark P4, Albert Friend, last year's Winter Cup champion, Max Sidursky, what a drive from grid 24 to 6 from Ryan Gundor, Rogalski, Mate Kobakice, Aaron Unludigan, Dan Holland Racing, the Turk, home in P10. Harry Taylor, Dragos finishes 12 from Kapan, Rory Armstrong, Luan Sodell, Bram van der Werken, Sekaguchi crosses the line in position 17. We'll take a very short break here at Cremona. We continue racing with the pre-finals here too for Senior Max, live from Cremona in just a moment. '81 drivers here this weekend in Senior Max, and we're down to the final 72. Senior pre-final 8. Matt B to lead the field out, has been in stunning form as ever. Alongside Archie Walker, the same can be said. For the second Brit on the front row of the grid. 36 karts on track momentarily for the Senior Max pre-final 8, over 14 laps here at Cremona. The temperature up to a positively balmy 6 degrees Celsius, which is about 7 degrees Celsius, exactly 7 degrees Celsius more than it was in the early hours of this morning when we made our way to this fabulous Cremona circuit. Host venue of the Rotax Max Challenge Winter Series first round, first Euro event for 2025. Pre-final 8 for Senior Max. We take a look at the grid. For Dan Holland Racing, Macaulay Bishop to start from pole position. 2 formation laps here for Senior Max. Archie Walker, KR Sport will start out of grid 2. Aman Hamilton, Strawberry Racing for the Hungarian Australian, alongside Tino Seidler from Switzerland for Strawberry Racing. Cameron Nelson out of grid 5, alongside Sebastian Hedin, Kajvic, Joël Jopierre starts out of grid 8, the Estonian for the AGS Racing Team, Charlie Smith, the American Slovakian, and Nud Nilsson, RS Competition, out of grid 10. Sebastian Koch, Dams racing a big accident yesterday in one of the heats down through the chicane, but he's back on track. He starts out of grid 11, alongside Mishka Kashkanen, Mark Sipos, Mehdi Lassoud, 6th in the Rotax Max Challenge in Salbris in France last week. O'Shea Greco, Klusha, Vladimirov, Timofey ahead of Tom Stadel, and Olivier Jonkers also for the Dams Racing Team. Jim Bach van the Netherlands out of grid 21. His countrymen, Ralph van der Parver, Elia Galvanin, Stammers, Bernardi, Benatour, Sabaran, Yuri Lavar that is, Lex Kantan, Papadopoulos, from Greece, Marco Aris, Miles Roby, Marco Gadini, Martin Leitner did not set a time in qualifying, but has fought back into the pre-final. Rain co-routes from the Emirates, and Lola Gervais in the Stoddy Kart 316. She was also racing the Rotax Max Challenge. First round in Salbris in France outside of Paris 7 days ago. She starts out at grid 36, Lola Gervais in a 316 Stoddy Kart Sigma on the final roll of the grid. Macby on pole position, 368 for the Brit. There's Archie Walker on the outside front row of the grid. One of the multiple British drivers for that matter, who have raced season after season at the Trent Valley, the world famous Trent Valley Car Club over the past few seasons, and now looking to start 2025 with a win on the continent. He's out of grid 2, Mac B on grid 1, pre-final A for Senior Max. We race. Great start from Aman Hamilton, and the Strawberry Racing driver up into second place behind Bishop, who leads from pole position. The field, 36 of them in Senior Max, make their way out of turn 3, being led by the 7-time British champion, Macaulay Bishop in 368 for Den Holland Racing. Aman Hamilton in P2. Mark Shibos has had an incident further back in the pack, as has Les Cantar, the Belgian. They have got going though, albeit way down at the bottom of the field. Bishop leads. Hamilton in second. There's Walker going on through from the outside, the notorious outside front row of the grid. Look at the lead from Bishop after one lap. Half a second nicely over Hamilton. Walker, Tino Seidler. So the Strawberry Racing drivers 2 and 4. Dan Holland Racing P1. Walker for KR Sport in third place. Back to Nelson Kajvic, the American champion with victories in the SCUSA Pro Tour. That is Charlie Smith. Sebastian Koch is behind Charlie in 308, and Sebastian Hedin. Jose Nud Nielsen, Tom Stadel up in a P2. Remember, he led Junior Max in the rain in Spain in Campillos in 2024. Ultimately finished P2 in last year's Winter Cup. Tom Strill now knocking on the door of the top 10 as the KR Sport drivers trade positions. Macaulay Bishop with the race lead. Hamilton Seidler through. Strawberry Racing second and third. The Brit from the Australian. And then Tino Seidler from Switzerland in third place. Back to Cameron Nelson. The second Dan Holland Racing car just ahead of Kajvic. Archie Walker falls back to 6 from Smith. Koch for Dams Racing up into 8th place. What a fight back from Sebastian. Just going through now. Big crash into the Tech Pro barriers yesterday in the second heat, his second heat, down through the chicane, fought back. The race was actually finished under full course yellow. It's a superb comeback. Sebastian Koch, the German, now up into P9 ahead of Nud Nielsen. As we get news that Benatar, you just saw the board being displayed, the French driver with the 3-second penalty. Macaulay Bishop leads by half a second over Hamilton, Seidler, Nelson. Tino's gone through and just taken his teammate. Sebastian Hedin in the background trying to make a move. And going on through the Alexander Dalberg Motorsport, the energy cart, the driver from Sweden, the team from Sweden. Nicely done. Sebastian up into 6th place. The gap from Bishop. Back to Seidler, half a second now. Tino's looking good. His Hungarian-Australian teammate in P3. Seidler from north of the border in Switzerland in 2nd place, but it's the Brit Macaulay who leads in superb form all weekend. Spectacular to watch is Macaulay Bishop. As you see the Strawberry Racing teammates, here's Hamilton having to defend from Cameron Nelson. Kai Veach, Archie Walker from grid 2 back into 6 from Sebastian Hedin, Smith, Nielsen, Mehdi Lassoud from France up into P10, Koch, Galvanin, Klusha, Hoche, Yuri Lavar from the back of the grid up into P15. Move down the inside. The KR Sport teammates. Kai Veach loses position as Archie Walker falls back into P5. Sebastian follows him through. Mehdi Lassoud from France in the Sodicard A 49.775. Only he, Nielsen and Smith so far. And Sebastian Hedin are under the 52nd bracket. That will change imminently though. The lead from Macaulay Bishop halfway through momentarily. Pre-final A for Senior Max. Almost 1 second. Bishop pulling away. Dan Holland Racing. 1st and 4th, Strawberry Racing 2nd and 3rd, KR Sport, P5, and then Alexander Dalberg Motorsport. Alexander not racing anymore, virtually, but now running a world-class team. His Swedish driver, the blue and orange energy course, the kinetic chassis as Sebastian closes in on the back of Archie Walker, the KR Sport Cosmic Kart. Bishop, Seidler, Hamilton. His battle for 2nd. Enough of a gap for Macaulay as he goes down straight under brakes. Sebastian all over the back of Archie Walker, who defends slightly from the Swede who's trying to lead this battle. There's Mehdi Lassoud going on through, fastest on circuit, the Frenchman. Behind the American, Slovakian, Charlie Smith, Kai Veach behind, Nielsen, Galvanin, Elia from grid 23, now knocking on the door of the top 10. Ahead of Sebastian Koch, Klusha, Anu Sabaran up into 14th, the driver from Montreal in Canada. On the other side of the Atlantic Ocean, ahead of Olivier Yonkers, Tom Stadell. Bishop, the gap coming down slightly. Seidler, Hamilton, Nelson, Walker and Sebastian working together as Hamilton goes off the road. Hamilton off the road together with Nelson. They drop way down the order. They have rejoined. We have to ask the question, was there debris on the circuit? We saw that happen multiple times yesterday. Still a lot of standing water off the side of the circuit. And when cars did go off and rejoin, they did drag just the slightest bit of mud and water back on track onto the racing line. We can only suspect that's what happened. Aman Hamilton down in P12. There's his teammate Tino Seidler in 2nd. Cuts the gap down to 0.7 of a second. Walker, then Sebastian in 4. Hamilton in 12th place. Kai Veach down to 8. The beneficiary, or beneficiaries plural, Charlie Smith P5 and Mehdi Lassoud. The American Slovakian just from the French driver in the Sodicard, who was setting quickest lap after quickest lap, indeed a 49.775 for the French Sodicard Sigma team driver. Still the fastest driver in the race, ahead of Nielsen, Veach, Galvanin, Koch, Klusa, Hamilton P12. Bishop from Seidler, the gap down to half a second. The Swiss driver is catching the Brit. Macaulay looks back left, looks back right, flashes across the line at 115 k's an hour. 119 k's an hour for Mehdi Lassoud. And Sebastian Koch for Dams Racing, 122 kilometers an hour through the speed trap last time round. Martin Liegner from the back of the grid has just set the fastest purple sector of anybody. And he's up incredibly into 18th place. Martin Lichtner, the Slovakian for Craft Motorsport. We'll get a glimpse of him imminently in the 398. The Carlos Sainz, the CS55 kart, is storming through the field. He's now on the back of Jim Bach. Go through and takes Mishka Kashkanen. Seidler looks behind, gets the slipstream as well. On the back of Mac B, 368. There's Walker, Sebastian Hedin, the Energy Kinetic Chassis, P4. Smith, Lusud, Nielsen. Good solid drive from Nud Nielsen. Finished 6th last year at the final round of the championship at Lonato. Danish champion. Finished 3rd, finished on the podium in the Rotax Max Grand Finals past few years, if memory serves correct. Racing the E20 class. Nielsen 390, RS competition. There's the Tony kart coming onto the straight now. Macaulay Bishop continues to lead. 3 laps remaining, including this one. Pre-final A, Senior Max here at Cremona. There's Mehdi Lusud. A replaced front spoiler on the Sodi Kart Sigma. Unstick it for the moment. Multiple drivers to hit the wall. Have incidents at least, let's say that. Throughout the heats, the first of which were held on Friday afternoon in torrential rain. Atrocious conditions. You can see the mud being dragged back onto the circuit. It is off the racing line. Macaulay Bishop continues to lead from Tino Seidler. Tino sends it from 2nd place. Mac B back to P2 and under attack now from Archie Walker. Superb from Seidler from 2nd, and the Strawberry Racing Swiss driver leads. Senior Max here at Cremona. Fantastic pass. You have to be brave to try something like that on Macaulay Bishop. A brilliant move. Tino Seidler for Strawberry Racing leads. Macaulay Bishop, P2, does not actually need to win the pre-final to guarantee pole position for the final this afternoon. We'll get back to that though. P2 would be enough provisionally to start Grid 1 out of 81 drivers this afternoon here at Cremona for the first round of the Rotax Max Challenge Winter Series. Walker for KR Sport just behind. And then Sebastian Hedin from Sweden as we start the last lap of Senior Max, the pre-final here this morning. Smith, superb in P5 from Grid 9. The American Slovakian whose teammate leads, he's in P5, trying to chase the leaders. Mehdi Lusud doing likewise. Nud Nielsen at the back of that little freight train. They scatter as they go down the back straight. Defense from Walker on Sebastian Hedin. Tino Seidler full of confidence. He's got the speed, he's got the traction. Takes the wide line. We have to watch through this, the right-hander. Watch Macaulay Bishop. You know he can pull off some of the most spectacular passes in world karting. Mac B, that was inevitable. Down the inside, centered, Bishop wins. We knew that was coming. Macaulay Bishop. No, you don't, pal. Mac B fights back. Oh, what we've come to expect from Macaulay Bishop over the past few seasons. Another spectacular pass. The final corner, the final lap. Bishop wins pre-final A. And with that, we believe he is unbeatable for pole position to line up on Grid 1 this afternoon. That is provisional, of course. Pre-final B for Senior Max. Still coming up, we take a look at the highlights from pole position. He took the race lead, sprinted off into the distance. There's a Martin Hamilton shot up into 2nd place. 3-second penalty for Benatu, who ultimately finished a commendable P22. Seidler making his way through the field. Tino and Amand. And then this was the crash that sent Hamilton off track and eliminated Cameron Nelson, the Brit, with a DNF. Seidler took the race lead right up until the final corner over the ripple strip. Not in my house. Mac B with another sensational pass takes victory in pre-final A to lock out pole position for the final later this afternoon. Walker second, Sebastian third, and Tino ultimately finishes in fourth place. Still good enough for inside second row of the grid for the final for the Swiss driver. Charlie Smith, home in P5. Nielsen, Lassoud, Beach, Galvanin, finishing just ahead of Alan Kluscher. And it was Sebastian Koch. Great recovery, commendable for the German ahead of Amand Hamilton, who was off the road. That clash coming together with Cameron Nelson. Unfortunately, Nelson, as we get over to the final page, one of the four drivers to DNF, O'Shea, Arez, Les Quentin, and Cameron Nelson coming together with Amand Hamilton. They were racing for the final positions. We turn the page. Nelson, grid for position 34, out of pre-final A here this morning. Macaulay Bishop with the victory and finishes this point of the weekend on 7 points. So we believe he is unbeatable points-wise, regardless what happens in pre-final B for Senior Max. Archie Walker at the moment on 11 points. Tino Seidler third on 26 points. So despite Tino Seidler being passed on the final corner and crossing the line in P4, he's had a great weekend and currently sits on 26 points ahead of Sebastian Hedin, Amand Hamilton, Kai Veach, Charlie Smith and Nud Nielsen. That's the point situation at this point of the weekend. Of course, that will all change with pre-final B coming your way in just a moment. The final pre-final of the morning, the Rotax Max Challenge, the Winter Series. First of 2 rounds for 2025. From here we go north of the eternal city of Rome, the newly renovated Leopard Viterbo International Circuit. That's on the 30th of March to finish out the Winter Series, replacing the Winter Cup. Last year, the rain in Spain falling right on top of us in Campillos, the single race event replaced by the Winter Series. It has certainly been that. Snow-capped nearby mountains. As I've told you multiple times, torrential rain on Friday, the Cremona circuit resembling a lake in some parts, including on the start-finish straight. And the sun is shining, the winter sun is shining. Thankfully for final stay here at Cremona. The Rotax Max Challenge, the Winter Series. Just a moment or two before the start of pre-final B. It will be Kai Hunter, who had a disappointing start to the 2024 championship. Euro champ, BNL champ, British champion, more times than we can count. Starts on pole position, the CS55 kart, alongside Sean Butcher, 36 karts on the grid. 81 originally entered in Senior Max from the 203 drivers overall. The first European Rotax event of the new year. Of course, Rotax racing taking place around the world last week at Orlando in Florida. The Rotax Winter Trophy, the American Winter Trophy. Also last week at Salbris on the outskirts of Paris in France, the Rotax Max Challenge French Championship. Also the Rotax Life event taking place in Coffs Harbour in Australia overnight. In fact, it's already finished with the time difference on the fabulous Coffs Coast, about 500 kilometres north of Sydney in Australia. The IKD promoted Rotax Life event in Australia. Multiple Rotax events taking place around the world. This is the first European race. This is the final pre-final of the morning. Kai Hunter on pole position. Sean, the former Euro champ, out of grid 2. Jort van Wijk now with DHR triple 3 out of 3. Gianmarco Cortopassi, Koenig, Lorenzo Giaquinto, Lucas Schlegel, Austin Lee, the German-American, Henry Gregory, and Ties van Wijk, also with DHR out of grid 10. Archie Battle, Jakub Gasparovic, Solčić, Mentier, Lizzie's ahead of Maximilian, Theo Montrone, Santeri Lahtinen, Angus, the Scotsman Scrivener, Sala from Austrian, alongside Kettela from Finland. Simeon, ahead of Fernando Paimerea from Estonia, has had a good strong run this weekend. The AGS racing team, Lloyd Howe, Bastian Ottensema, Andrea Remy, Brun, Kurg, Antoine Lemieux, Legri, Mattia Chiben, Anilova starts out of grid 30. Martha Spike, Carlos Sasso from Montreal in Canada. Giorgia Montrone, Timon Trinka, Evelyn Cheholova, and Alice Stolcemane starting out of grid 25. If that name seems familiar, it's because she is the younger sister of Prema Formula 4 driver Thomas Stolcemane's former WSK champion. Alice Stolcemane, 3:03 on the final roll of the grid. Kai Hunter's leading the field around. In a moment, you're going to get a glimpse of Lorenzo Giaquinto. He's out. There's the yellow flag waving. There's the 3-2-0. A disaster for the Italian. Lorenzo Giaquinto at Jar 40. He's out before the start. A disaster for the Italian, who was certainly a contender for the final this afternoon. He may well be, but he'll have to come from way on the back of the grid. Lorenzo Giaquinto is out. Colpa di Scena. Shock here this morning. Lorenzo Giaquinto has just rolled to a stop on the entry down to the chicane. 36 becomes 35. And Loris Legri also not to make the start. There is Lorenzo Giaquinto, desperate to try and get the kart restarted. It's looking unlikely for the Italian. Giaquinto is out before the start. Lorenzo Giaquinto at Jar 40. Che disastro, what a disaster for the Italian here in Italy. Will have to come from near on the back of the grid, you would think, for the final this afternoon. Kai Hunter being pushed by Jort van Wijk. Hunter Motorsport, the Carlos Sainz CS55 kart on pole position, and the former Euro champ for KR Sport to the right of your screen, out of grid 2. We race. Maciej Konik with a super launch, the LSR racing driver up into P3 behind Jort van Wijk. Kai goes by. Hunter leads down into the chicane for the first time. Butcher from the notorious outside front row of the grid, the former European champion, comes down the back straight in P5. Good start by Luca Schlegel. He's just ahead of the Australian, the Craft Motorsport machine. Luca in 3:11, starting out of grid 7, up into 4th place. Sean on the attack. And Kai Hunter becomes the hunted, with now 33 karts breathing down his neck as they come across the line for the first time. The Brit from the Dutchman, Maciej Konik. Up into 3rd place is the Slovakian. Spectacular from Luca. Schlegel needs to do something quickly about the Slovakian. Does the Austrian. He's got the Australian behind him. Sean Butcher, the former European champion for the KR Sport team. Lucas sideways on the exit. Konik defends. Sean tries to send it. Luca launches down the inside. Butcher takes the both of them. Lucas off the road. Sean Butcher, the former European champion. Spectacular as Jort van Wijk van the Netherlands goes up the inside. He goes by Kai Hunter back to 2nd place. It is on in the final pre-final this morning, deciding the grid positions for the final this afternoon. How good will the final be? Watching live around the world on Motorsport TV this afternoon. 81 drivers in Senior Max. Down to 72, we are about to decide the final 36. Take a look at this. Watch the KR Sport Cosmic. Luca takes Konik. Sean takes the both of them. Spectacular from the KR Sport team driver. And at the very same time, Jort van Wijk, now with Dan Holland Racing, went by Kai Hunter. Back into 2nd place. Butcher's right there on the back of the Brit. The Dutchman leads. Luca Schlegel. And now with the retirement of Lorenzo Giaquinto, we've got the top Italian Gianmarco Cortopassi going by in P5. Superb drive. Gregory Bostrom, as Sean has half a look at the back of Kai Hunter. Down into turn 3, thought about it, but waits. OTK 1, 2 and 3. Dan Holland Racing, Hunter Motorsport, and KR Sport in P3. Kai, B&L champion, multiple British champion. Dives down the inside at the end of the pit straight. Decisive. Kai goes by. Hunter retakes the lead. Nicely done by the Brit. You get the sense that Sean's got the speed. Here's an opportunity. Just waits, does Butcher. The 358 CS55 kart. Sean up the inside, drives on by the KR Sport driver. Takes the lead. Fastest on circuit in the background, incidentally, Maximilian Bostrom with a 50.745. We've got a new race leader. It's the British Australian for the team from the Silverstone Formula One Grand Prix circuit. KR Sport, Sean Butcher, as it gets messy in the background. Gregory Bostrom, Cortopassi, Konik, Archie Battle, Austin Lee. First race back in nearly half a year for the young German-American ahead of Lattinen, Sala, Ties van Wijk, Montrone, Kettler, Fernando from Estonia, Lloyd Herbrunn, Scrivener, and Bastian, the Austrian, rounds out the 20. Luca Schlegel, the Austrian driver for the German team. Kraft Motorsport, P4. Butcher's pulling away in a 50.5. Matched by Ties van Wijk, who's down in 13th at 50.4, in fact. It's actually bettered. But as Jort van Wijk and Kai Hunter fight for second place, Sean Butcher is pulling away. The gap, 7/10, almost a second, in fact. Cortopassi down the inside, fighting with Henry Gregory. The MLC Motorsport driver still inside the top 10. He's been strong this year, or this weekend, I should say. Trent Valley Car Club champion Henry Gregory, MLC Motorsport 354, just comes across the line now. He's ahead of Maximilian Bostrom. Austin Lee with a 50.3. Fastest on circuit is the German-American. The gap stays to 7/10 of a second, so Kai Hunter and Jort van Wijk second and third, realising they have to work together somewhat, and we can include Luca Schlegel in that sentence, if they have any chance of catching Sean Butcher, the former Euro champ, in the second half of our final pre-final here this morning. The Rotax Max Challenge, the Winter Series, here at Cremona. In the background, Montrone, Ties van Wijk. It was Lattinen going wide, just rejoining in 15th place. Hit a fellow Finn, Simeon Kettler. Mechanical defect flag being shown. Almost 1 second. Jort van Wijk. There's Kai Hunter. The Hunter Motorsport team from the Warden Law Circuit in Sunderland in the northeast of England. Not too far south of the Scottish border. The CS55 kart, the Carlos Sainz 55 kart, manufactured by OTK, who lead the way 1, 2 and 3. Sean in the Cosmic kart. Jort in the Lando Norris LN machine. And Luca Schlegel, Kraft Motorsport, CS55, in theory identical chassis to Kai Hunter in 358. Slightly different colours, certainly different teams, British and German teams, Austrian and English drivers, running 3 and 4. Being caught though, Gianmarco Cortopassi, John Mark short step, the NKC 364 Tony Kart. Head of Bostrom, Henry Gregory, Austin Lee, Konik, Sella, Montrone, just outside the top 10. Here's the second Italian, Matteo for NKC Motorsport. Giorgia Montrone, she's having a fabulous run from the back of the grid, up into 21st place. So after a sensational start, the order has settled down somewhat. As it stands, Macaulay Bishop would still start from pole position for the final this afternoon. Maximilian almost into the 49-second bracket. The Swede in P6 from grid 15, if you don't mind. There he goes through. Maximilian 3:05 for the Alexander Dalberg Motorsport team. This is the grid provisionally as it stands on lap 10. 4 laps to race this morning in our pre-finals. Bishop pole position, Walker grid 2, and currently leading pre-final B, Sean Butcher, to start alongside Kai Hunter on the second row of the grid for the final this afternoon. That is provisionally the grid. There is the Swede going on through. Maximilian Bostrom was fastest on circuit until Sean Butcher puts down a 50.061. The mud on the infield, of which so many drivers have actually crashed into. That's not an exaggeration. So we see a move from one of the DHR drivers trying to go on by. See if that's successful. Into the grass. Oh boy, spectacular there. Ties van Wyk, head of Konik and Sulla, did incredibly well to get held onto it. 49.9 for Sean Butcher, breaks under the 50-second bracket. There's Ties van Wyk coming across the line, lucky to still be in the race. Konik, Bartel, Sulla, Lloyd Hare, Lattinen and Lizzie Mentia. Sean Butcher looking to join Kai Hunter on the second row of the grid for the final Senior Max this afternoon. The winter sun shining here at Cremona, and the KR Sport driver, well, forgive the cliche, he is certainly shining here this weekend. He comes across the line, P1, a second clear of Jort van Wyk. Luca Schlegel from Austria is behind Kai Hunter, who started from pole position. There's Gianmarco Cortopassi, Maximilian Bostrom in P6. Gregory Henry ahead of Austin, Ties van Wyk, and Matteo Montrone, the second Italian, in P10. It's the Australian who leads all the way. Look at Lizzie Mentia, 49.9. She's had a tough start to the weekend, but she's now coming quick at the right time. A 49.9. The former Alpine F1 Academy junior driver, fastest on circuit, and she puts in a purple sector on this, the penultimate lap of our final pre-final here this morning. There's Bostrom on the back of Cortopassi. Last lap, Sean Butcher leads. A second clear of Jort van Wyk. The battle for P5. Maximilian Bostrom, Gianmarco Cortopassi for the NKC Motorsport team. Down through the chicane for the final time, Sean Butcher perfect. The Australian to start out of grid 3 for the final this afternoon. Macaulay Bishop will start on pole position alongside Archie Walker. I say we'll put an asterisk beside that statement. Provisionally, he will. It's looking good though for Sean Butcher to join Kai Hunter in the second row of the grid. He comes out of the final corners, and the checkered flag will wave. The KR Sport team driver dominates pre-final B. He'll be a contender. The former Euro champion crosses the line in P1. Jort van Wyk 2. Lucas Schlegel, the Austrian, comes home by Kai Hunter in P4 from pole position. But again, provisionally, that is good enough for the driver from Warden Law to start grid 4 out of 81 drivers for the final this afternoon. Butcher takes the victory in our final pre-final this morning. Take a look at the highlights. Sean Butcher from grid 2 was back to 3 or 4 off the start. Perfect start from Kai Hunter. Of course, Lorenzo Giaquinto was out before we even went green. Lucas Schlegel with the launch. And Sean Butcher with the move of the weekend thus far into second place. While that was happening, Van Wyk going by Kai. Butcher having one look as Kai Hunter attacked, retook the lead. Butcher into second place, and then the race lead. That was as close as the rest of the field would see. The Australian KR Sport team driver then would pull away as Hunter fought with Jort van Wyk and Lucas Schlegel for second, third and fourth. Butcher taking victory and provisionally to start grid 3 for the final this afternoon. Butcher wins our final pre-final of the morning from the Dutchman Jort van Wyk. Lucas Schlegel P3, Kai Hunter P4 from pole position to start grid 4 provisionally for the final. Gianmarco Cortobassi, Maximilian Bostrom, Alexander Dalberg Motorsport, Gregory Lee, Ties van Wyk, Matteo Montrone in P10. Conic, Bartol, Sala, Lizzie Mentia, who did set the fastest lap of the race as she came home in 14th from Fernando Santri, Hugo Braun, Bastian on the back of the grid. Angus, the Scotsman, Scrivener, and Anya Levere in P20. Lemio, Gasparovic, Soltiš, the two Slovakians, Marta Spike, Georgia Montrone, Bravissima, Alice Stolcemane, the younger sister of Prema Formula 4 racing team driver Thomas Stolcemanis, head of Carlos Sasso, Chiben Chehulova, Timon Trinka, and then Lloyd Hare, Ketela, Kerr, Remy did not finish, and Lorenzo Giaquinto Legri out before the start. So the grids are now set here for the first European Rotax race of 2025. We will take a break. We'll be back in just over 1 hour's time, 64 minutes from now, for the first of our 4 finals this afternoon, starting with DD2 at 1:40 Central Europe. Why the violin music? Why the images of the violin in our introduction? Well, simply because we are at Cremona, where centuries ago Stradivari created the most famous musical pieces in the world, which now, if you can find one on a Sotheby's auction, are well into the millions of pounds. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Rotax Max Challenge Winter Series, the first of our 4 finals to get underway, starting with DD2 in just a moment in beautiful winter sunshine. We have qualified in the rain. We have raced in the rain. It was -1 degrees this morning. The sun is shining. We're 10 greater than that now, ready to race the DD2 final. Before we do, though, let's check out some of the highlights from the Shifter Direct Drive 2-speed class from this week here at Cremona. DD2 drivers on the grid at the CREMONA circuit, around about 2 hours drive southeast of the fashion capital, which is Milan in the north of Italy, for the first European race of the 2025 season. Great to have your company. The second year of the joint agreement between Rotax of Austria and WSK Promotion, who just a couple of weeks ago celebrated 20 years of world motorsport competition. The first ever WSK race taking place back at La Conca, Murolacese, in 2006, 2 decades ago. You're looking at the front row of the grid. In fact, you're not. That's the second row of the grid. That was Jakob Beschel, 405, just ahead to the left of your screen. That's the front row. That is the 19-year-old from Somerset in England, Will Ellswood, who will start on pole position for the first of our 4 finals this afternoon, live from Cremona here in Italy. Last year was the rain in Spain, which fell right on top of us in Campillos, the Winter Cup. 2 rounds for 2025, the Rotax Max Challenge Winter Series here at Cremona, the circuit which was rebuilt in 2020 when the world came to a stop and there was nothing else to do except renovate what is now one of the finest circuits in the world, Cremona, as the 1 minute board goes up. Host venue for the first round of 2024. We go to Viterbo Leopard International Circuit north of the Eternal City of Rome on March 30. But for now, we're ready to race over 16 laps, the first of our 4 finals, the Rotax Max Challenge Winter Series. The direct drive 2-speed karts, 125cc, all, of course, powered by Rotax, fire into life and set off on their formation laps. With that, we'll take a look at the grid. It's the Englishman, Will Ellswood, on pole position alongside the former Grand Finals champion, Rania Viras, the former Euro champ, Jakob Beschel, out of grid 3. Len Nice, the Shepherds Racing Team, Manuel Tenshirt, Zendaru, newly crowned World Finals champion, first in the Masters drivers, of the Masters drivers, Ben Dejabo, Nico Pico, Will Christensen, triple 4, second in the Winter Cup last year, and Lawrence Herbeau out of grid 10. Frederick Zebesh, Stampex Motorsport, Leon Mandel, Brendan Klein, Dusan, the now South African, Radejovic, Mika van der Parvert, Will Nordbeck, Philip Moetzi, Jamie Smith, another South African out of 18, Luca Neuenhausen and Fabio Creti in the Haas kart out of 20. Dimo Nota Francesco, another Masters driver from Switzerland, Ludovic Sabarin, Nico Guillaume, Dana Bergs, Gero Latas, and we go to Gabriel Fernandez, the third South African, and Keith Wilson. Was to have started on the 14th row of the grid. He will not make the start. Also missing the start, Ludovic Sabarin. A frightening crash yesterday in the third and final DD2 heat. He is doing okay though. And once again, we said this in the pre-final, but we'll repeat it. The most sporting act we've seen in world motorsport for the last half decade. Mika van der Parvert risking his own life to drag Ludovic Sabarin literally off the track, off the racing line, out of harm's way. It was a courageous moment. Mika, mate, we owe you for that one. Ludovic, we wish you all the best with your recovery and hope to see you back on track very soon. Another formation lap, Will Ellswood. Beautiful winter sunshine here. Torrential rain on Friday, which blew in on a 45-degree angle. Snow falling in the nearby fields and on the mountain tops. The Cremona circuit, you can see the car racing circuit, motorcycle circuit, hosting the World Superbike Championship for the first time last year. That's back on the first week of May. The work's going on in the background. 40,000 spectators cramming into the Cremona circuit in 2024. Last year to see Danilo Petrucci in the Ducati, on the Ducati, win both races of the inaugural running at the World Superbike Championship at the Cremona circuit. The 20th anniversary season of WSK Promotion World Motorsport. The second year of the joint agreement together with Rotax of Austria. Great to have your company watching us live around the world. Will Ellswood on pole position. And the Estonian Rania Viras, 441, the former Grand Finals champion, out of grid 2. Len Nice Outside second row of the grid for the Shepherds Racing Team, the 417 Kart Republic trying to get a run. Can tell you that one of the Kart Republics in the background, SP Motorsport, trying to catch up to the back of the pack. As Will Ellswood leads them up to the line. The European Rotax Series. The championship season doesn't start now. Another formation lap. Very fortunately, for Nico Guillaume, who will assume his position on the grid 23. That's the SP Motorsport Kart Republic. Just caught up to the back of the pack. Another formation lap. No hurry here. 16 laps just on 20 kilometres. Beautiful winter sunshine. Fernandez, Dunnebergs at the back of the pack. Just being told by race control, if you're watching our live timing around the world, the 493 car does not have a transponder fitted, or it is not working at the minimum. So we'll keep you up to date with that. As Will Ellswood leads the field up to the line. The Craft Motorsport team driver, the CS55 kart. The 19-year-old Englishman on pole position. The European Rotax season starts right here, right now, here at Cremona. Ellswood on pole position. Ranja Vidas, the Estonian, to the right of your screen, out of grid 2. We race for the first time in 2025. And the Craft Motorsport team drivers from England and the Czech Republic, respectively, go 1-2. Jakob Beschel on the back of his British teammate. But Will leads the field as they come down the hill. The slight rise, the descent into the chicane for the first time. A clean start for the DD2 final and DD2 Masters, keeping an eye on the Masters drivers, the first of which is 535 XDR. Crowned Grand Final champion of the world at Sano at the end of 2024. Now racing in the Masters class. Nico Picot, who finished second last year in the corresponding Winter Cup, went on to win the European Series and also the Grand Finals in DD2 Masters 517, the second of the Masters drivers. But it's Will Ellswood leads a Craft Motorsport. 1-2 across the line for the first time. There's Vidas. Glued to the back of the Czech. Len Nyes, P4. Jakob Beschel on the back of his teammate, who just slides at the exit of turn 3. Just trying to build up momentum. XDR, P5, the first Masters driver, the Slovenian, Leon Mandel, and Picot just behind. Defensive now from Will Ellswood. They're starting to bottleneck. Zenderu, 535, incredibly took heat victory. Number 2 and number 3 yesterday, outright. The Masters driver from Slovenia won both Heat 2 and Heat 3 outright, as well as being the first Masters driver. There's the Tony Kart, SSC Racing going on through. And he's in P5 outright at the moment. There's Picot in the background. Jakob Beschel on the back of his Craft Motorsport teammate. The CS55 kart has XDR down the inside of the Belgian Len Nyes. The Kart Republic defends from the Tony Kart. Zenderu trying to go on through, but the Belgian slams the door closed. Back to Leon Mandel, who sends it on the Slovenian. Makes the move. Zenderu loses 3 positions and now has to contend with the leading Masters driver, the French veteran, Nicolas Picot. Will Ellswood still trying to build up momentum and traction and rhythm. The Belgian, Len Nyes, fighting with Ranja Vidas in P4. Across the line, looks right, looks left, back to his teammates at 121 k's an hour. Len Nyes at 125 k's an hour. This time, Jakob down the inside over the ripple strip. Will defends from his teammates. The teammates fighting. This gives breathing space to the Englishman, former Kart Masters champion, from the southwest of England back to his teammate. The attack will come. Jakob knows it, closes the door. Mandel, and then the two Masters drivers. Nico Pico, 5-1-7 going through. XDR just behind. Herbol Jabol, who was third in the Euro Series last year, the Hungarian. Will Christensen, 444. The RS Racing competition cut. He was second in the corresponding Winter Cup. The rain in Spain, last year in Campillos. Christensen, now the first of the Danes, rounds out the 10. Lynn Nyes down the inside over the ripple strip, side by side on the exit. And the Belgian muscles his way on through. Aggression from Lynn Nyes for the Shepherds Racing Team. And the Kart Republic sets off after the two Craft Motorsport karts. Watch this, the last possible moment. Uses the ripple strip up onto two wheels. Spectacular, to be fair. Rania Viras, the former Grand Finals champion, did give him space, but he's lost out. Back to P5. Mandel down the inside. And the barrel art goes on through. Rania Viras on the back of the Belgian. Then the first of the Masters drivers. It's Nicolas Picot. Craft Motorsport 1-2. The Carlos Sainz CS55 chassis, manufactured by the monster that is OTK, which was launched at this very circuit by the then Ferrari, now Williams F1 Grand Prix driver Carlos himself, just on 12 months ago. Viras, Lynn Nyes, Nicolas Picot leading the Masters classes, Enderu back into P10. Dimo Notafrancesco, he's the third Masters driver. The fourth of which is Fabio Creti, the Italian, in the Haase kart, the legendary Haase kart, which took victory, powered by Rotax. We go back to 1994. Formula A, Cordoba, the Rotax powered Haase kart of Marco Barindelli. Fabio Creti, 595, the sole Haas chassis here this weekend, the fourth of the Masters drivers. He rounds out the field. Leon Mandel is catching up to the back of the Craft Motorsport duo, who trade positions. Ellswood, 405. Jakob Beschel, former Euro champ, now into the lead in 401. With this move to the left of your screen, down into the pit hairpin, textbook move, under brakes. And the Czech leads the Brit, who's now coming under attack from the Austrian Leon. The KSB Birula team from Austria. The driver from Austria, the driver from Grid 12, sends it down the inside. Splits the Craft Motorsport duo. Super move from Leon. Here comes the Belgian. Lynn Nyes trying to get up onto the podium. Watch Bendejabo as well. The Hungarian, who was third in last year's Euro Trophy. Bendejabo senses his opportunity for a podium. Behind his WK 444 Ferraris competition. Now he's up the inside. Christensen takes the Hungarian, nice pass. But Bendejabo gets him back on the exit. They race across the line. Christensen behind Picot now at 126 kilometers an hour. Jakob Beschel just 122. But the Czech leads the race from the Austrian Leo Mandel. Half race distance. DD2 Masters, the final, the first Rotax winter race of the new season. And you can see the Austrian has closed up on the back of the Czech. They come out of the pit hairpin. Lynn Nyes in P3, the Belgian up onto the podium. Rania Viras 441, the barrel art, the second barrel art. They come out of the final corner. If they work together, they may catch. They're not doing that. Oh, they are, side by side. Rania Viras gives Lynn Nyes a little bit of space, points ahead and says, go boy, go. The Czech and the Austrian are racing away. That will actually give Lynn Nyes, who has experience, racing in KZ2 in direct drive, okay. And now in DD2, some confidence to attack. The leading duo, Jabo in the background, has just set the fastest purple sector of anybody in the entire race. There's Christensen, 444. RS competition, Herbo, Jebus, Zendru has got by Nicole Pico, back in the lead of the Masters category. Philip Muizzi in between that battle. Nice, 417. The Card Republic started out of grid 3. Across the line in position 3. The gap 9/10 of a second between the Belgian in the Card Republic and the Bureau-Art of Leon Mandel in second place. Down through the chicane, this is lap 11 of 16. A 20-kilometre final, 49.6 from Ben Jabo, who's behind Will Ellswood, who started from pole position. Has had a perfect weekend thus far, but it's all going wrong for the Englishman. He's under attack from the Hungarian, who's the fastest on circuit. The attack is going to come imminently. Ben Jabo, third in the Euro Series. Watch him into the final corner. Didn't do it then into the penultimate corner, as Leon Mandel just shadows the back of the Czech, the former European champion, Jakob Beschel. The rest of the field pouring on through as Jakob Leon across the line. Barely a few centimetres between the Craft Motorsport CS55 car and the Bureau-Art. Christensen up into 7th place. He was second in the corresponding Winter Cup, the rain in the south of Spain last year. Just going through is the Dane, as Ben Jabo does make the move on Will Ellswood. It is all going wrong for the Brit, whose teammate continues to lead. Ellswood now back in position 6 as Christensen with a 49.6 lights up the timing screen. 4 laps to race. The gap is coming down between Glenn Nyes and Leon Mandel. The battle for second and third. Jakob Beschel still continues to lead. There's Ranja Vides in the background, shadowing the Belgian. Glenn Nyes takes another chunk out of the Austrian in second in that sector. The gap down to half a second between the Belgian and the Austrian in second. It's still Jakob Beschel, the Czech, continuing to lead. 3 laps to race. The first event of the 2025 European Rotax Series here on a freezing cold day at Cremona in the north of Italy. Glenn Nyes, the sun, the winter sun, glistening off the Speedwear Arai helmet of the Belgian in third place. The Shepherds Racing Card Republic starting to attack, starting to pull away from Ranja Vides. Ben Jabo in the background, another purple sector. The Hungarian is catching all 4. We are about to have a 5-card fight for the final, for the victory here at Cremona. The first Rotax Euro Winter Series race. Dives down the inside. Leon the Austrian. Lynn takes to both of them. Gets out of the throttle. Side by side. Watch Ranja Vides in the background. It is on. 2 laps to race. Do not discount Will Ellswood, who is watching his battle rage. Just over 1.5 miles to race here at Cremona. Into the final corner, they were 3 wide. Incredible scenes. They gave each other space, to be fair. And now on the penultimate lap, incredibly, it is still Jakob Beschel who's got the race lead. Glenn Nyes in P3. Ellswood in 6th place at the back of this battle. Then we go to Christensen, Zebes, Herbo and Picot with a lap to go. Nicolas, the French veteran, leads the Masters category. This is it. This is the last lap of the race. Jakob Beschel white lines it. He's being pushed by the Austrian. They cross the line at 123 kilometres an hour. 126 for Ranja Vides as he gets the slipstream from the leading trio. 6 drivers trying to fight, make that 7. Christensen, 444 for RS competition. He finished second at Campios in the pouring rain last year. Do not discount the Dane. But Beschel does not defend. He's got confidence. 2 opportunities coming up, into the penultimate corner. And then the final triple right-hander. Leon Mandel from Austria will attack. Jakob Beschel white lines it. Watch him cut back into the final corner, the final opportunity. The checkered flag is about to wave. Checkmate. Jakob Beschel from the Czech Republic wins a sensational DD2 final. Leon Mandel, the Austrian second. Len Nyes on the podium in third place. What a race! Jakob Beschel takes victory here at Cremona. Creti crosses the line. Fernandez, Dimo, Nota Francesco was the final finisher. Jakob Beschel takes victory as we look at the highlights of a thrilling DD2 final. It was a Craft Motorsport 1-2. Will Ellswood from pole position, defending for the first quarter of the race, the first third of the race, but then they started to bottleneck. Len Nyes on the back of the Craft Motorsport CS55s. Ellswood still holding the lead as Rania Vidas and Len Nyes fought for third place. Rania Vidas and Len Nyes racing cleanly for the final step of the podium. And then the 2 Craft Motorsport teammates traded positions. Leon Mandel following on through into position 2. Ellswood back to 3, back to 4, back to 5, fell off the podium, which he would ultimately miss. Rania Vidas, Len Nyes to some degree working together. Nyes takes the podium in third place. Rania Vidas some consolation with a 49.56 fastest lap of the race. They were 4 wide into the penultimate corner on the penultimate lap. 7 karts fighting for victory, including Will Christensen, who ultimately would finish in P6. But it's Jakob Beschel who will stand on the top step of the podium from the Czech Republic. He takes a fantastic victory in DD2 here this afternoon. Leon Mandel, second place, the Austrian, and Len Nyes, the Belgian, in third. Vidas some consolation with the fastest lap of the race. Ellswood, Christensen, Frederick Zebus, Lawrence Herbal, Jabo, and Nicolas. Second in the corresponding Winter Cup last year, P10, but he's the first Masters driver, head of Klein Tanscher. Jamie Smith, the South African from Benoni on the outskirts of Joburg, home in 13 for the Munareto performance team of Luca Munareto. Norbert, great comeback from Will after crashing into the mud in spectacular fashion in atrocious circumstances on Friday in qualifying. The Dane, Lito Muizzi, and Zendero, second in the Masters category. Radecevic, Neuenhausen, Dunnebergs, Gerulatas, Fabio Creti on the podium as the third Masters driver home, ahead of Fernandez and Dimo Nota Francesco. Jakob Beschel has held on to take a thrilling victory in DD2 from Leon Mandel and Len Nyes. Nicolas Picot, the French veteran, takes victory in DD2 Masters over Zendero and the Italian in the Haase kart, Fabio Creti. Stay with us on Motorsport TV in the winter sunshine here at this world-class venue, which is the Cremona Circuit. The podium presentation for DD2 and DD2 Masters live from here at Cremona in just a moment. The drivers down here for the podium presentation, double podium presentation. Firstly for the DD2 category and then for DD2 Masters. A thrilling race and a fantastic way to start the first of our 4 finals here this afternoon at Cremona. DD2 in third place, the Belgian for the Shepherds Racing Team, Len Nice. Second place, the Austrian, with a brilliant performance all weekend, Leon Mandel. He withstood the challenge. It was a defensive masterclass. This was a case of checkmate. The winner of the first Winter Series race in DD2 for Craft Motorsport from the Czech Republic, Jakub Bischel. And representing the winning team, Craft Motorsport, Kilian Kraft. Third place to the Belgian, Len Nice. Second place, the Austrian, Leo Mandel. And the winner of the first round of the Rotax Winter Series here at Cremona from the Czech Republic for Craft Motorsport, Jakub Bischel. And representing the winning team, Craft Motorsport, Kilian Kraft. The national anthem of the Czech Republic. DD2 final, third place, Len Nice, second, Leon Mandel, and the winner here at Cremona from the Czech Republic, Jakub Bischel. Dankjewel, Len. Dankeschön, Leon. Thank you very much to Jakub Bischel, the first DD2 race for 2025. DD2 and DD2 Masters racing together. The fight for DD2 was fabulous, and so was DD2 Masters as well. The race within a race, they've fought at it all weekend. And we're ready to proceed with the DD2 Master podium, the race within a race, here this afternoon at Cremona. The first of our 4 finals here this afternoon, DD2, Mini to follow, Junior, and then Empire for what promises to be a spectacular Senior Max race to finish out the afternoon. But firstly, the DD2 Master podium here at Cremona. In third place, the Italian in the House car, Fabio Cretti. Position 2, the newly crowned Grand Finals champion on the podium, first time up in Masters from Slovenia, Zen Daru. Second place in the corresponding Winter Cup in the south of Spain in the pouring rain last year. But here in the Winter Series first round at Cremona, he wins DD2 Masters. The French veteran in the Tony Kart, Nicolas Picot. DD2 Masters. In third place, the Italian Fabio Creti. Second place, the Slovenian Zen Daru. And the winner of DD2 Masters, the French veteran in the Tony Kart, Nicolas Picot. And also accepting the first place trophy as his own privateer winning team manager to Nicolas Orsi. The national anthem of La France. The podium for DD2 Masters. In terza posizione l'italiano Fabio Creti. Zen Daru, the Slovenian, in second place. Et le vainqueur ici à Cremona de la France. Dans la première place, Nicolas Picot. Stay with us here at Cremona, the Mini Max Final, in just a moment. Back here at Cremona for the Mini Max Final. This promises to be as thrilling as any race we've seen here this weekend. The youngest drivers racing in Mini Max, 33 of them on the grid ready to race, being led by the Belgian, Jeff Verbeke. Before we race, let's check out some of the highlights from Mini Max from this week here at Cremona. Jeff Verbeke from Belgium for the Bouvan Power team will start on pole position for this 10-lap 12-kilometre final, just a few moments away from the start. 32 drivers on the grid. The smallest, the youngest drivers racing here this weekend. Jeff Verbeeke, the Belgian for the Belgian team, Boulevard Power, who stood on the podium multiple times, did the team last year in 2024 in the Euro Series. He'll start along Tom Reed, the Brit, for the SFR Motorsport team in the Gillard TG17, the new homologation chassis. OTK 1, 2, 3, 4 on the, let's just say they dominate the first half of the grid. Looking for the first non-OTK kart. Have to go back to the 6th row of the grid, Klaus Hans and Dominic Rocha. We'll get to that in a moment as you look at Oliver Spencer 142 in the centre of your screen. In the south of Spain in the pouring rain 2024 in Campillos. He finished second in the corresponding Winter Cup to Albert Friend. Looking to take victory here. Here's Oliver Spencer for the KR Sport team inside, critically inside second row of the grid, left of your screen. Jeff Verbeeke from Belgium, who'll start on pole position. The girls leave the circuit. Tom Reed to the right of your screen, SFR, that's a Gillard chassis, the same manufacturer which took victory in the 2005 Formula A World Championships in Braga in Portugal with now Alpine F1 team principal Oliver Oakes. 2 decades ago now, Ollie. It's a Gillard on the front row of the grid to the right of your screen. 32 Minimax drivers ready to race the first European Rotax race of the new season. So just a moment away from the start, we'll take a look at the grid for you as the mechanics back to pit lane. The green flag flies. Jeff Verbeeke, quick off the mark. He'll be wanting to repeat that in a few moments' time when we do go green for real. Giovanni Dezzani is slow to get away at the back of the grid. He's still stalled. We'll get back to him in a moment. Jeff Verbeeke, this is the grid, starts on pole position. Tom Reed out of 2. Oliver Spencer, grid 3 alongside Mark Quesada. Leo Livings, the British-based Ukrainian, alongside Maria Roberto, who was fastest in her group in qualifying. Alfie Garrett, Alfie Ward, Alfie Mayer, the Alfies. 7, 8, 9 on the grid. Patrikas Jurchas at a grid 10. Dezzani has got away, I can tell you. Hans Klavs in the Energy out of grid 11. Dominic Rocha out of grid 12. Alex Baroni, the Fu Racing Kart. Ken Otzler from Turkey. Christian Abel, Stams Racing, Ilari Harmanen. Turbo Kevin out of 17, Grigic, Freiberg and Jonas Pundish on the 10th row of the grid. Martins Lapins, a broken chain in the first heat on Friday. That cost the Latvian. He's down in 21 alongside Roszkowski. There's Nava Isaac Yoon from South Korea. And it's Timek, Pieta, Rampadara, SP Motorsport, Spike, Fulbrikama. Dezzani out of 29 has got underway. The Italian alongside Ivo Oas, who will look to boss the grid, although he is coming from the back of it. Lumi Pustinen, 102, alongside Max Konovos, who starts right behind Ivo Oas. Does Konovos, the SM Racing Tony Karp, the Latvian, out of grid 32. Slight high cloud cover in beautiful, glorious winter sunshine. Still not into double digits temperature-wise. 9 degrees Celsius at the moment, but that's exactly 10 greater than it was when we arrived at the circuit in icy conditions this morning. The track is now dry after torrential rain on Friday. Wind gusts of 50 kilometres an hour threatening to blow us back to Milan. But now the track is dry. 32 Minimax karts on circuit, being led by the Belgian Jeff Verbeeke for Boulevard Power. The Rotax Max Challenge Winter Series here at Cremona to kick off the 2025 Rotax Championship racing season. Verbeeke 1, 2, 6. Watch Spencer inside second row. His KR Sport teammate Leo Livings just behind. We race. Spencer darts to the outside. Goes wheel to wheel with the Belgian. Up into P2. Dives down the inside. Ollie, awesome. Oliver Spencer takes position 1. And his British-Ukrainian teammate wearing the helmet, the flag, the colours of Ukraine, makes it a KR Sport 1-2. Leo Livings behind Oliver Spencer. An awesome start from the Brit, who leads briefly from his teammate. Tom Reed responds. In fact, as Ward going through, Verbeke, Alfie Mayer, I'm sorry. It's actually Alfie Mayer from grid 9. Saying that without confidence a moment ago, surely not. Thinking to myself, no way could that be Alfie from the 5th row of the grid, but indeed it is. The Brits, 1, 2 and 3. Verbeke from pole position back to P4. What a start from Oliver Spencer, but an even better one from Alfie Mayer, who's come from grid 9 to be in 2nd place. Splits the KR Sport duo. Goes down the back straight. Alfie Mayer looking good. Jeff Verbeke having to defend from Tom Reed, Alfie Garrett, Hans, Barone, Ward, Quesada, Yochis, and Maria Roberto, who's fallen back to P12. There she is going on through. Head of Turbo Kevin, Ken Osler from Turkey, Christian Abels, and Dominic Rocha. In the 1-2-4, KF Racing Croc Promotion Carts. There's the energy going through. Hans Klavs, a good start, up into P7. Spencer across the line at 102 k's an hour, 105. In fact, 106 for Isaac Yoon goes even faster. The South Korean, who raced last week in the WSK Supermaster Series in 60 Mini, joins us here for the first Rotax race of the season. Isaac Yoon up into P18, just clocking 106.3 k's an hour for Dan Holland Racing ahead of Lappens, Freiberg and Jonas Pundisch. Oliver Spencer for KR Sport has got the race lead, but only just from Alfie Mayer. On our timing screen, the Union Jack, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Back to Jeff Verbeke and Alfie Garrett and Alfie Ward. Marc Casada, the Frenchman, for the MKC Motorsport team. Mocar Como, the team from Lago di Como, just south of the Swiss border in the north of Italy. Marc Casada across the line in P8, joining into this battle. And as Baroni and Patricas in 1-2-5 in 10. Verbeke makes up one position. Spencer still leads. Already approaching half race distance of the Minimax final. Goes defensive, white lines it, leaves the door open. That was intelligent from Oliver Spencer. It wasn't to defend, it was so Alfie Mayer would attack and leave the door open for Leo Livings, who goes down the inside. KR Sport go 1-2, the Cosmics first and second. The KR Sport team based at the Silverstone Formula One Grand Prix circuit. Silverstone with news that they are about to commence construction on an £8 million FIA standard international kart circuit as part of the incredible Silverstone Grand Prix motorsport facility. That's where KR Sport are based, and they run 1-2 here in the north of Italy in the Minimax final. Spencer, P2 in the south of Spain in the pouring rain in 2024. To Albert Friend, but at the moment the Brit goes P1 as they race down the back straight, half race distance. Minimax here at Cremona. Again, we go back to our timing screen. The Union Jack, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Spencer, Livings, Reed, Garrett and Alfie Mayer after that sensational start. He's back in 5th place. And Jeff Verbeke, he'll be furious. He's back in P6. He started on pole position. He's had a near-perfect weekend, the Belgian. Gets the slipstream over Ward, Quesada, Baroni, Patricas, and Turbo Kevin. Slight gap now from Spencer. Not to his teammate Livings, but Tom Reed back in P2. Oliver looks back over his shoulder, back to Tom. Leo in P3 just for the moment. Defending from Alfie Garrett. The MLC Motorsport. The Cosmic 147. The rest of the field going on through. Turbo Kevin, Ken Osler, Maria Roberto. She's back in 13th. Fastest in her group of qualifying on Friday. She was sensational. The British Italian, Maria Roberto, a 72.372. That gives you some idea of the conditions. 20 plus seconds slower than the race pace throughout the dry here 48 hours ago, but the winter sun is shining here at the Cremona circuit, rebuilt in 2020. Again, on the calendar for the World Superbike Championship over the first weekend of May. Mark Quesada back in 8th place with a 54.1, almost into the 53s. Spencer for the moment withstanding the challenge. You know Tom Reed is about to attack. Has to worry about Leo Livings. He's got a KR, he's in a KR Sport sandwich. There's Marc Quesada in the background. The French driver, 54.1 last time. As now Verbeeke pulls out of the slipstream. Trying to make a move up on through the Tony Kart. Van Pel, 1.26. Remember, the Belgian started on pole position here at Cremona. 3 laps, including this one, to race. Oliver looks right, looks left. Tom shoots to the outside. Leo Livings trying to repeat what happened earlier. Look at the mud on the outside of the circuit. No driver on your screen wants to end up in that, as many have done throughout the heats. There's Tom Reed on the back of Oliver Spencer. Livings having to defend from Alfie Mauer. Alfie up the inside. Alfie gets the drive. Mayer goes on through after that superstar from grid 9 into P2. He's back onto the podium. Spencer has to white line it. Flashes across the line at 102 k's an hour. Still the Brits. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Verbeek has fallen down to P10 on the penultimate lap of the race. Spencer for KR Sport in first place. Into the pit hairpin for the penultimate time. Oliver Spencer defending for his life. Alfie Mauer sends it down the inside of Tom Reed. Alfie Mauer from grid 9 into second, back to 5th. He's back in P2. Can he attack Oliver? Gives a shunt into the back of the Englishman. Crash further back. Ward is surely out of it. This is the last lap with Spencer, the Englishman, leading. It was Reed, in fact, who copped a tap in the back, and Tom Reed crosses the line in P7. Spencer in the race lead. This is the last lap of the Minimax final here in the winter sunshine at Cremona. Alfie Mauer back in P2 from grid 9. They both made sensational starts. Watch Spencer go to his right, to your left, white lines it. Stares back at Mauer, who runs into the back of Spencer. Livings for KR Sport back onto the podium. Penultimate corner, he defends again. Livings on the outside of Alfie. One opportunity, you know it's coming up. Spencer will defend. Over the ripple strip goes Garrett. That checkered flag is about to wave. He finished P2 in the south of Spain in the pouring rain in 2024. Is not denied in 2025. Spencer wins Minimax here at Cremona. Alfie Mauer second, Alfie Garrett third, and Livings just misses the podium in 4th place. Oliver Spencer wins Minimax here at Cremona. We take a look at the highlights. We take a look at the start. Spencer from the inside second row. Alfie Mauer came from grid 9 to be in P2. Oliver Spencer, Leo Livings, a KR Sport 1-2 early on in the race. Jeff Verbeek from pole position, what could have been, fell back through the pack. Couldn't fight with the Brits, who ultimately finished 1, 2, 3 and 4. Tom Reed trying to attack. He was in second place over the back of Spencer. Oliver just would not tolerate an attack from Tom. Started grid 2, the SFR Motorsport. Gillard fell back to P3 and then was turned around inadvertently, we must add, as they fought for victory coming up to the last lap board. Spencer, they were belting the Englishman after finishing P2 in Campios, was determined not to be denied here. He took victory. Alfie Mayer second, and Alfie Garrett, superb, the MLC Motorsport driver, into position 3 on the final corner to stand on the final step of the podium. Look at that, the Union Jack, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Spencer wins the Rotax Max Challenge Winter Series here at Cremona. Mayer in second, Garrett third. Leo Livings just misses the podium after a great weekend from Ward, Baroni, Reed, Joches and Jeff Verbeeke. What could have been for the pole sitter, the Belgian crosses the line in position 9. Oliver Spencer, KR Sport, the Brit for the team from Silverstone, wins here at Cremona, and he'll stand on the top step of the podium in just a moment. The first of 2 rounds for 2025 here at Cremona this afternoon, the final weekend of March at the Leopard Viterbo International Circuit north of the eternal city of Rome. And then, of course, the Rotax Euro Trophy 2025, Wackersdorf in Germany, the Steel Ring in the Czech Republic, Genk in Belgium, and then the host venue of the 2024 Grand Final, Sano, on the first weekend of September. Before that, though, we've got a lot of racing to get through. But firstly, the podium for Mini Max. Oliver Spencer wins, and look at that on your screen. The Union Jacks 1, 2 and 3. You can take a moment to admire that on your screen as well. The podium presentation for Rotax Mini, live from Cremona in just a moment. podium for a thrilling mini-mac final here at CREMONA. The British drivers from the United Kingdom finishing 1, 2 and 3. The podium for mini-macs, the Rotax Winter Series here at CREMONA. In third place from Great Britain, it's second place, also from Great Britain, Alfie Mayer. P2 in the pouring rain in the south of Spain in Campillos last year, but now he stands on the top step of the podium. From Great Britain, for KR Sport, the winner here at CREMONA, Oliver Spencer. And representing the winning team, KR Sport, Connor Hamilton. In third place, from Great Britain, Alfie Garrett. In third place, from Great Britain, in second place, from Great Britain, Alfie Mayer. And the winner of Mini Max here at CREMONA, the first Rotax Mini Challenge race, also from the United Kingdom for KR Sport, Oliver Spencer. And representing the winning team, KR Sport, Connor Hamilton. The national anthem of the United Kingdom. The podium for Max in third place from the United Kingdom, Alfie Garrett. Also from the United Kingdom, P2, Alfie Mayer. And the winner here at CREMONA from the United Kingdom for KR Sport, Oliver Spencer. Stay with us live from CREMONA, the Junior Max final in just a moment. Halfway through the afternoon here at CREMONA, the winter sun breaking through the cloud cover. We've got the Junior Max final coming your way live in a moment. Before we race, which will see Harry Freeman start on pole position, let's check out some of the highlights from this week, Rotax Max Challenge Winter Series here at CREMONA. Harry Freeman to the left of your screen for KR Sport is about to lead off the Junior Max drivers, 33 of them to race over 15 laps here at the 1.224 kilometre circuit. That's what, 3/4 of a mile for so many of our viewers watching on live from north of the English Channel. The Union Jacks 1, 2, 3 just a few moments ago on the podium in Mini Max. We may well get a repeat in a few moments' time because the Brits dominate the grid here in Junior Max, including the front row. Harry Freeman, Cole Denham out of grid 2. The Scotsman, though, don't dare call him English. Dan Holland Racing, 262 to the right of your screen. Harry, potentially the biggest win of his career. Not to make him nervous, but he's been in scintillating form all week here at Cremona. Just a few moments away from the start as the 1 minute board goes up. Cole Denham, also with experience racing in OK Junior in the WSK Euro Series in 2024, now with Dan Holland Racing to the right of your screen. The green flag about to fly, and we're about to get underway with the Junior Max final here at Cremona. This is the grid. Harry Freeman on pole position, CD out of grid 2. Christian Sedersen, RS Competition. Remember, they won this race with Casper Nissen in 2022. Starts out of grid 3, the Canadian Ryan Gandor out of 4. Albert Friend, he won the Winter Cup in Mini last year. Now he's racing junior. He starts out at grid 5 alongside the Romanian, Austrian, Dragos, Vasil Kutai, Kai Clark, Shun Sekaguchi, the fastest qualifier out of grid 8. Regalski, Vilmos, Villasits on the 5th row of the grid. And then the Northern Irishman, Rory Armstrong, starting alongside Harry Taylor on row 6. Eren Ludigan from Turkey for Dan Holland Racing. Matej Kovacic there from Georgia, Bram van der Werken. And it's Malmstedt, Max Sadurski out of 17. The Indian from the Emirates, Nathan Kappen, Kevin Polak. And then Martin Soltich, Kayake Racing out of grid 20. Leo Gonzalez, the Spaniard from Switzerland, alongside Zayat, then Natino, Tusek, Branislav Renka. Leopold Juk, the German, for Forza Racing Bahrain. G. Rogers Tyler and Seidel, Lena Bass. Then we go to Constant Sibile, the final few rows of the grid, Emanuele Rosselli, the Scotsman, Kieran Stewart, and Unto Lakkanen, 205, the Birilat, out of grid 33. Under the control of our race director, as ever, Mr. Alessandro Ferrari. Under the pace of our pole setter, Harry Freeman. We race. Denham to the outside, but Christian sends it down the inside. And the Dane goes through into position 2. Harry Freeman leads from pole position. A clean start for the Junior Max final as they make their way down the rise for the first of 15 times here at Cremona. Freeman already opening up a nice lead as they go into the pit hairpin for the first time. Cole Denham back into second place. The field make their way out of the pit hairpin. Dragos Vasikultai has not made a good start. The same can be said for the Finn, who started mid-pack. Pito Malmstedt has fallen right down the order. But as they come across the line for the first time, it's the pole sitter who will lead for KR Sport, the Trent Valley Car Club, junior champion from 2024, winning at PFI, one of the strongest, one of the most famous club series in the world, potentially taking his biggest victory of his young career here this afternoon. Still 14 laps before that potentially comes a reality. Denham in second. The Scotsman sets off after the KR Sport team driver. Harry looks behind, back to Cole. And it's Christian. They started 1, 2, 3 on the grid. And in the second lap, that's exactly how they come out of the pit hairpin. Albert Friend up to 4. Kai Clark, Rogalski, Taylor, Ryan Gandor, and Ludigan. And the Northern Irishman, Rory Armstrong, now inside the top 10 ahead of Max Sadurski. What a start for the Dutchman. There he is, just coming onto your screen. Cole dives down the inside. Denham leads. The Dan Holland Racing driver uses every piece of the ripple strip at the exit. Superb kart control. Dan Holland Racing, KR Sport, RS competition. This battle, which we've seen throughout the past decade in Rotax Euro competition, rages on here at Cremona this afternoon. Cole Denham defends. Down into the pit hairpin. Look at Kai go by. Clark in the background. Skates under brakes. Rogalski, Taylor, Ryan Gandor, Aaron and Ludigan in the triple two. The Turk well inside the top 10. Max Sadurski is heading purple lap after purple lap as Kai goes off. Clark is off the road. He goes rallycross. Surely his afternoon is over. Denham loses a ton of time as well. Cole Denham struck way down the order, as has Kai Clark. Christian up in a P2, and Albert Friend, who won in Mini Max in Campios last year, now runs on the podium in Junior Max. Rogalski, there's the Canadian Ryan Gandor. Also for the KR Sport team, Taylor and Ludigan. Rory roaring up through the field, the Northern Irishman. And then Max attacks Sadurski from grid 24 in the pre-final. A DNF in the rain in the first heat through no fault of his own. And the Dutchman in the Card Republic for Stanpex Motorsport. There he is. He's inside the top 10. Max Sadurski as we go to the lead. And it's the Great Dane who goes P1. Christian sideways at the exit of turn 2. Casper Nissen won the European Trophy, the series in 2024 in junior for the team of Ralf Schlunsen. And now we've got Christian Sederson for the RS competition team who takes the lead. This is how he did it to the left of your screen. Got the run out of the final corner, got the slipstream, got the drive, and went past Harry Freeman, who's back in P2. Question is, can he pull away for the moment? Just 2 kart lengths. Albert Friend third. Strawberry Racing, and it's Ryan Gandor, Rogalski, Alex for KRK Racing. Then we go back to Taylor and Sadurski. Max up to 7 from grid 17. Cole Denham back in 14th, what could have been his just at a purple 51.6. As Freeman has a big look at the back of Saracen. Unlikely to stand on the podium here this afternoon. Sekaguchi, a tough afternoon. As Albert Friend has a look at second place. Harry Freeman, who's off the road. Harry's in the grass. Oh, it's all going wrong for Harry Freeman from pole position. A thus far perfect weekend. As we say, he won the Trent Valley Kart Club Championship in juniors in 2024 at the world famous BFI circuit. Was looking potentially to take the biggest victory of his career this afternoon. He's just fallen off the road and he's fallen in behind, would you believe, the Dutchman Max Sadurski. Max is up to 6. Mind you, he's got the field breathing down his neck. In that battle, that's the Dutchman. He's got the KR Sport Cosmic Karts. He's in the Kart Republic. Clark, Freeman, Unludigan, Taylor, Shun Sekaguchi. A change for the lead. Ryan Gandor now in P1, and the Canadian just keeps on trucking. Yes, pun intended. He's got the race lead. fact, the battle for second place, I'm sorry, the lead of this battle, Ryan Gandor into second. There's Albert Friend. That's Rogalski. Albert Friend slips by the both of them. It is Christian who's slipping away. He's 2 seconds clear. That's the Dutchman, the Dane. He was not even on our screen. That is the Dutchman in P5. What a drive, Max Sadurski. Just behind Clark, Freeman, the pole sitter, Unludigan, Shun Sekaguchi. The Asian champion winning that title in the beautiful tropical island of Langkawi in Malaysia 12 months ago. Shun Sekaguchi, fastest qualifier in the pouring rain on Friday. Dan Holland Racing, the Japanese star ahead of the Northern Irishman Rory Armstrong in P10. Clark goes back past Sadurski. So this is the fight for the podium. Christian Seresen not even on your screen. He's 3 seconds clear. Seresen, RS competition. That's the race leader from Denmark, the team from Denmark. Albert Friend second. We go back to Ryan Gandor, the Canadian P3, the KR Sport Attack. There's the DHR duo. And Ludigan, Sekaguchi, Armstrong, followed by Dragos. Just been passed by Mate Kobakidze, a driver from Georgia, the former Soviet state, better known for their rugby exploits. Mate, 244, ahead of Willis, it's Brand van der Werken. Across the line, the KR Sport driver in trouble. Kai Clark crosses in P8 just ahead of Armstrong. Now the race is getting messy. Friend and Gandor, the Canadian from the Brit. Yellow flag waving down into turn one. We've had an incident. We'll bring you up to date with that in a moment. No problem for the race leader, Seresen. Still the yellow flag down into turn one. Freeman makes a position back. Well, he may still get back onto the podium. The way this race is evolving, not the cleanest race you've ever seen in your life, except for the race leader, Christian Seresen, who's coming onto the straight now as the others on your screen fight for P2. Is Archie Rogers-Tyler involved in that first lap or that first corner incident with the Scotsman, Kieran Stewart, they're both out. Albert Friend up the inside of the Canadian into P2. This is lap 11 and 15. So the gap, Christian Seresen to Ryan Gandor was 2.6 seconds. Albert in second place now. Look at the freight train, including the Dan Holland Racing trio. The yellow flag still into turn one. The drivers are fine. There's carts on the outside of the circuit. Rogers-Taylor is out. Kieran Stewart is out. Constar Sibylle is out. There's Harry Freeman almost into the grass. Tushek and Mikhail Zayac have also retired. We're down to 28 of the 33 starters. The red and yellow flag is being displayed around the circuit. Someone has lost fluid. And that's likely the reason as we see the KR Sport duo fight for the podium. Kai Clark, 267. Ryan Gandor, 204. The Canadian into the marbles now. Max takes all of them. What a comeback from the Dutchman. There's Rogalski as well. Max is on the podium. What a comeback for the Dutchman, for the Stampex Motorsport team. Far from the cleanest race you've ever seen in your life. The Junior Max final. As you see, Nathan Kappen. Nathan just straight ahead into the grass. Head of an Atino Cole Denham. Remember him? He started out of grid 2. We lose another one into the grass. Another 2 into the grass. The red and yellow flag for fluid on the circuit is being displayed around the track. Someone has lost fluid and it's costing us competitors here. Ryan Gandor falls down the order. Christian Seresen, the gap 2.2 seconds. Back to Albert Friend and Max Sadurski. The leading trio have pulled clear of Kai Clark. Kai goes by in P4. Rory Armstrong, P5 for the Northern Irishman. The officially British driver, head of Rogalski. Shun Sekaguchi, good comeback from him. On Ludigan Freeman and Ryan Gandor ahead of Mate Kobakidze. in P10. There's the red and yellow flag being displayed for fluid on the circuit. Penultimate lap for the Dane. There's Albert. And Satursky, what a drive from 17. Up onto the podium with Sekaguchi, Kopikidze, and Ludigan, Gandor and Freeman in the background. An intelligent drive from the Dane, the small nation who have produced so many World Motorsport stars over the years. We think of the likes of last year's Le Mans 24-hour winner, Nicholas Nielsen, Jason Watt, of course, Mr. Le Mans, Thomas Christensen, to name just a trio, and Christian Sedersen, forgetting, of course, our friend Christian Lundgaard, racing in the IndyCar World Series. For a small nation, they have produced some superstars in World Motorsport, and surely the Danish driver with the Danish team is about to take victory in Junior Max here on a cold day at Cremona in the north of Italy. Christian, Albert and Max in P3. This is the last lap of the race. He's going into the final few corners. The last lap board being displayed. Christian Sedersen is about to come across the line and take victory in Junior Max. He wins it. He takes victory here this afternoon. The Dane for the Danish team. Albert Friend second and Max Satursky home in third place. Clark, Armstrong, Sekaguchi, Freeman, Rogalski, Cole Denham, Dragos ahead of Bran for the final position inside the top 10. A messy race, but a worthy victor as we lose one into the final corner within sight of the checkered flag. It looks to be Luan Seidel. The cart caked in mud. It's Lena Bass, in fact. Crosses the line in 25. That was Lackinen. And Malmstedt, the final finisher. Christian Sedersen, the victor here this afternoon in Junior Max. We take a look at the highlights. Harry Freeman from pole position for KR Sport. Perfect start. Cole Denham briefly into the lead. And then multiple drivers falling off the road as fluid was on the circuit, and that cost us multiple drivers. Christian Sedersen going by the KR Sport driver briefly. And then once and for all as he took Harry Freeman, who was back into second place. Albert Friend superb. Albert winning at Campillos, the Winter Cup in 2024. That was in Mini Max. Fought his way up onto the podium. This was the drive though. The 297 of Max Satursky. Stampex Motorsport, the Card Republic from grid 17. Storming up through the field in a messy race in the Junior Max final. And Christian Sedersen just walking away with victory by over 2.5 seconds. Ryan Gantor into second place, fooling us to thinking he was in the lead briefly, but it was actually Christian Sedersen. With such a lead, he was not even on our screen. The Dane takes victory for Ferrari's competition. Albert Friend second, and what a drive. The Dutchman, Max Satursky, on the podium in third place. Clark, Armstrong, Sekaguchi, some consolation for the fastest qualifier. Freeman 7. Rogalski from grid 2-9, and Dragos, the Romanian Austrian for NKC Motorsport, rounds out the 10 just ahead of Bram van der Werken. The podium for Junior Rotax in just a moment, and then our final race of the afternoon for Senior Max. Stay with us live from Cremona. You're watching us live, the first Rotax Max Challenge Winter Series race, the Junior podium in just a moment. The drivers making their way up to the podium for the Junior Max podium presentation, and then we round out the afternoon with Senior Max here. It was a hectic race, to put it politely, but we've got a worthy winner from Denmark. Christian taking the victory. Maybe a change to the order as they cross the line. As we said, it was not the cleanest race you've ever seen in history. Post-race scrutiny, you know what happens if the front spoiler is down. A super drive from Max Zadursky from grid 17 into third place, but has not passed post-race scrutineering. That's bad luck for the Dutchman. We'll see him back for Viterbo for the second round at the end of March. It does elevate Kai onto the podium. No change to the race winner. Christian takes victory. The Danish driver, the Danish team. The podium presentation for Junior Max. In third place for KR Sport from the United Kingdom, Kai Clark. Second place for Strawberry Racing, also from the United Kingdom, Albert Friend. A dominant victor from Denmark for RS competition. The winner here at Cremona, Christian Sejersen. And representing the winning team, RS competition, Robert Schlunsen. Third place to Kai Clark from Great Britain. Second place, also from Great Britain, Albert Friend. And the winner of the Rotax Max Challenge Winter Series race here at Cremona for RS competition from Denmark, Christian Sejersen. And representing the winning team, RS competition, Rob Schultzen. The national anthem of Denmark. The podium for Junior Max here at Cremona. Third place, Kai Clark. Second, Albert Friend. And the winner from Denmark, Christian Sejersen. Stay with us live from Cremona. The Senior Max final in just a moment. Three-quarters of the afternoon completed here, and the highlight to come, Senior Max from Cremona. Macaulay Bishop to start on pole position, 81 drivers, and here's the first of which, as we head into the final 16-lap race here at Cremona. Before we race, let's check out some of the highlights from what's happened this week, the first Rotax Max Challenge winter race of the year. '81 Senior Max drivers down to 72 for this morning's pre-final. And then we're down to the final 36. And it's Mac B on grid 1 for Den Holland Racing. The first Rotax Winter European Series race of the new year. Not worldwide though, of course, Coffs Harbour in Australia. The Rotax Life race taking place down in, well, we'll call it the tropics, halfway between Sydney and Brisbane. The IKD promoted Rotax Life event at the fabulous Coffs Harbour circuit. Last week at Salbris on the outskirts of Paris in France, the first Rotax Max Challenge French Championship race, and of course Orlando in Florida. The Rotax Winter Trophy. Senior Max, incidentally, won last weekend by Lewis Goff. Congratulations, mate, winning on the other side of the Atlantic. Lewis Goff taking victory in the United States. He was third in the Winter Cup 12 months ago in Campillos. So the Greek girls do leave the circuit, and astonishingly enough, we ask ourselves the rhetorical question, F1, really? Still, after all this time? We certainly do have Greek girls that have just left the circuit. Macaulay Bishop to the left of your screen on pole position. That's Archie Walker to the right. 36 Senior Max drivers, the original Rotax Max category to race over 16 laps, the original Max class, the original 125cc Rotax engine, almost 3 decades of competition. The first ever Rotax Max Grand Finals 2000 in Puerto Rico. This is the first European Rotax Championship race of 2025. This is the grid. Macaulay Bishop on pole position. Alongside his Archie Walker. Sean Butcher, the Australian, out of 3. Kai Hunter out of grid 4. Jort van Wyk, Tino Seidler for Strawberry Race, and John Marco Cortopassi alongside Sebastian Hedin in the AD Motorsport Energy Kart. Aman Hamilton, the second Australian, out of grid 9. Lutka, the Austrian Schlegel, out of grid 10. Maciej Konik, the Croc 396, alongside Kai Veach out of grid 12. The American Slovakian Charlie Smith alongside the German-American Austin Lee, Knud Nielsen, Henry Gregory, Ties van Wyk, Sebastian Koch, Archie Battle, and the French study car driver Mehdi Lesud out of grid 20. Cameron Nelson, Joël Jopierre, the Estonian, Maximilian Bostrom, Lorenzo Giaquinto, Mishka Kashkinen, Mattia Montrone, Lizzie Mentier, she's out of 27 alongside Alan Klusha, Jakub Gasparovic, and Greco, that's Tommaso out of grid 30. Mikhail Soltish, Timofey Vladimirov, Santeri Latanen, Christoph Sala, Tom Strel, the Latvian, starts out of grid 25. He was second last year at Campillos in the Rotax Junior final. Starts alongside the Scotsman, Angus Scrivener, 339, the CS55 kart for Hunter Motorsport. aggressively warming the Mojo tyres on a freezing cold winter's afternoon. Here at Cremona, the same circuit, which is back on the calendar for the World Superbike Championships in 2025, the first weekend of May. This is the circuit where the then Ferrari Formula One driver, now with the Williams Grand Prix team, Carlos Sainz, launched his own CS55 kart 12 months ago here at Cremona. And that kart is being driven firstly by Kai Hunter, the centre of your screen, on the second row of the grid. Rotax Senior Max here at Cremona. MacB on pole position. For the first time, go round for the second time, a crash at the back of the pack. Alan Kluscher has gone around, fortunately, another formation lap, and the pole will be able to slot back into position alongside Lizzie Mentier. In grid 28, Alan Kluscher turned around, coming up to the line. You can feel the tension here despite the cold weather. Freezing temperatures here this morning. There's Macaulay Bishop, one of the most spectacular drivers in world karting. Starts out of pole position. Dan Holland Racing, who won this race, or the corresponding event in 2024. Jaden Tian beating home Kai Hunter. And of course, Ethan Jeff Hall for Sam Pollock Racing, who went on to win the big one at PFI in England, and now Mercedes F1 Junior. Ethan Jeff Hall finishing P3 to Kai, who starts out of grid 4. And last year's race winner van the Netherlands for Den Holland Racing, Jaden Tian. The officially British drivers, 1, 2, 3, 4 on the grid. And then the Dutchman, Jort van Wijk, 333 out of 5. It's his teammate, Macaulay Bishop, on pole position for Dan Holland Racing. The sun soon to set here in the north of Italy. The Rotax Max Senior Final, the Rotax Winter Series for the first time in 2025. We race. Walker around the outside. Sean Butcher dives down the inside. The KR Sport drivers go second and third, but it's MacB who leads the way for Dan Holland Racing from pole position. A congested start out of turn 3. You can see the field bunching up as they go down through the chicane for the first time. Bishop leads, Butcher second. The former Euro champ for KR Sport leading the attack for the team based from Silverstone. Off the road in the background, it looked to be Lizzie Mentier, who had initially made a good start, but has fallen right down the field. We'll get back to that in a moment. It's going to be Macaulay Bishop who leads. KR Sport duo, they've traded positions. You can see Butcher has fallen back into P3 behind Archie Walker. Luca Schlegel, also a disastrous start for the Austrian. He's yet to cross the line as the leaders go down the small rise here at Cremona for the first time. Lizzie Mentier, she crosses the line in position 24. Bishop leads just from the KR Sport duo of Walker and Butcher. Tino Seidler for Strawberry Racing from Switzerland on the charge. And just behind is Gianmarco's short step. Corto Passi. Jort van Wijk, Kai Hunter back to 7. Second in last year's corresponding race at Campios. There's the CS55 card. He's going to get a good run on the back of the Dutchman. He's got Sebastian Hedin for Alexander Dalberg Motorsport, the Energy Kinetic, right behind Bishop, Walker and Sean Butcher. Luca Schlegel is out. The Austrian, along with Soltisch and Lattinen, the 3 retirements in the opening stages of this race. Bishop under attack as Walker gets a fabulous run, and MacB knows it, puts the cart in the middle of the circuit. Down into the pit, hairpin, runs wide on the exit. They're starting to bottleneck. Bishop needs to go, he needs to pull away or they will attack. The opening stages of the Senior Max Final. Seidler in P4 from Switzerland for Strawberry Racing. led up until that corner right there in the pre-final this morning. On the very final lap as Jort van Wyk makes a move on the Italian. Koptopasi back to head in. Kai Hunter, Smith, and the second Australian, Aman Hamilton. The first is in P3. It's Sean Butcher, then Walker and Macaulay Bishop from the north of London for Dan Holland Racing. The team based at Wilton Mill, the famous Wilton Mill circuit in Northamptonshire in the King's England. Under immense pressure, but his heart rate is barely rising. Macaulay Bishop, P1 from pole position. Nobody has attacked yet. There's Tino on the back of Sean, Archie and Macaulay. Settling into a rhythm, the Mojo tyres up to as maximum temperature as they'll reach here this afternoon on a freezing cold afternoon. 118 k's an hour for Walker that time, 3 greater than Macaulay Bishop as he gets the slipstream. Henry Gregory down in 17th, has lapped in a 50.5. He's half a second faster than the race leaders, but he's way down the field. Bishop again defensive into the pit hairpin. Jort van Wyk. Then we go back to Kai Hunter, the multiple British champion, the B&L champion, Vice world champion in the CS55 car. Dino down the inside of Sean. Seidler sends it, and he's passed by the Dutchman. Jort van Wyk. Decisive. Goes up in a P3 from grid 5, from position 5. And the Dan Holland Racing drivers 1 and 3. That's costly for Butcher, who looks super quick this morning. Walker just still shadowing the back of his fellow Brit, Macaulay Bishop. Seidler off the road. Seidler's in trouble down through the chicane. He's just been passed by Gianmarco Cortopassi. Sebastian Hedin. Surely his afternoon is over. Sean Butcher, P3, was lightning quick this morning, ending the final heat yesterday, his final heat yesterday, which he won. Archie Walker looking to take the biggest win of his career this afternoon. 6th in the British Championships last year. Behind Macaulay Bishop, one of the most spectacular drivers in world karting. Sean Butcher, former European champion. Position 3 for KR Sport. The track is 10 metres wide. It's 1.2 kilometres long. And Macaulay Bishop puts the 368 Lando Norris kart right in the middle of it. Walker can't find a way around yet. He'll have to do something because Sean is looking to go on through. Butcher for KR Sport, the team from Silverstone. Now being caught by Kai Hunter, who finds momentum in the Carlos Sainz 55 kart. Across the line, back to Sebastian in the Energy Kinetic for Alexander Talberg Motorsport. Again, defensive just enough not to lose so much momentum and to hold track position. They're starting to bottleneck. Sebastian may be the dark horse here. There's the energy for the former KZ2 Swedish champion, now running his own world-class team. Alexander Dalberg, Sebastian in 5, Kai in 4, Sean 3rd. Walker in 2nd place. Bishop has led from pole position. Here's Charlie Smith, the American Slovakian, ahead of Seidler. Kai goes by. Sebastian fights. The front 3 pull away. Hunter back to 5 now. And Sebastian now just a step off the podium. Hunter responds. They're both losing time. Kai Hunter back into P4. They've both lost a second. Bishop, Walker and Butcher, the 3 officially British drivers. The Union Jack, 1, 2, 3 on our timing screen. Has Sean down the inside of his KR Sport teammate. Archie does give him space. Walker back to P3. Will try and let his teammate Sean Butcher, the former European champion, try and do the work here at Cremona. Macaulay Bishop absolutely faultless thus far. His engine revving right on time. Yes, pun intended. The Dan Holland racing driver has got the race lead, but he's about to be attacked by the drivers from the team based at the Silverstone Formula One Grand Prix circuit. As we just told you, big news that Silverstone about to start work on an £8 million FIA international standard kart racing circuit, part of the Silverstone Motorsport Complex where the KR Sport team are based. And now you can see Sean is catching up to the back of Macaulay Bishop for Dan Holland Racing. They're based at the Wilton Mill circuit in Northamptonshire, as we see Charlie Smith off the road. The American falls outside the top 10. His chance of a podium this afternoon is surely over. Butcher like a statue in the KR Sport Cosmic. Bishop defensively brilliant thus far. Sean is about to attack imminently. This is lap 11 of 16. The Rotax Max Challenge Winter Series from here at Cremona. Into the pit hairpin. More defensive this time. Walker watches on. Hunter into P4. Working somewhat with Jort van Wyk. Different teams, but they're intelligent, experienced enough to know that they need to work together, peloton, Le Tour de France style, if they are to have any hope of winning here this afternoon at Cremona. Just behind Jort van Wyk is Gianmarco Cortopassis, Sebastian Hedin, Hamilton and Tino Seidler. Across the line at 115 k's an hour, 120 for Jort van Wyk, with the benefit of the slipstream. The 125cc original Rotax Max category. And it's the Brit Bishop who's led from pole position under immense pressure. Sean Butcher, here's an opportunity. Macby in the middle of the circuit, literally. It's 10 metres wide. He had 4 metres of bitumen either side of the 368 Lando Norris kart. Here we go. Hunter's there in 4. Kai goes by. Hunter down the inside, sends it. But he's under attack from Jort van Wyk. That did not work for the Brit. Sebastian goes by Kai as well. Hunter looking to get onto the podium, but he crosses the line at the end of lap 12 in 7th place. That did not work for the multiple British and BNL champion. Bishop, Butcher, they both pull away as we take a look at the replay. This was inevitable on the left of your screen. The never-ending left and into the right. He just didn't turn until he'd gone by. Archie Walker resisting. 3 wide and Jort in that triple 3 went on by, and Kai Hunter briefly up into 4th, but then loses 4 positions on the exit. He's behind the sweet Sebastian Hedin. Across the line, dives down the inside, Sean Butcher. Wow! Track limits on the inside. That's the widest we've seen all weekend. That was a lake that was underwater yesterday. Courage, strength, determination from Butcher. He's just going to fire it down the inside imminently of Macaulay Bishop, who has put on a defensive masterclass here this afternoon. Bishop and Butcher, 1.5 British drivers leading, and they've now been caught by Archie Walker and Jort van Wyk. The Dutchman, the first non-Brit, but the second Dan Holland racing kart. DHR 1 and 4, KR second and third. KR almost briefly into the lead. Jort up the inside of Walker, who needs a rear view mirror on the 391 Cosmic. This is the penultimate lap of a thrilling Senior Max final here at Cremona. It is not over yet. Watch Bishop go to his right, to your left. Oh, he doesn't. He proves me wrong. He stays on the racing line for the first time in the entire race. Cortopassi behind Sebastian Hedin, ahead of Ties van Wyk. Hamilton, Nielsen. Watch the attack. Jort van Wyk in P4, trying desperately to help his teammate. He dives down the inside over the ripple strip. Jort goes through to P3, Kai goes by. Hunter incredibly, he looked all but out of it. He's back on the podium. This is the last lap of the race. Sean will have to send it. Macaulay's waiting. You know this will come down to the bit hairpin. Down through the chicane for the final time. This battle, this war raging between KR Sport and Dan Holland Racing. He knows it. Into the penultimate corner. Sean Butcher to send it on Macaulay Bishop. It is on. Here we go. Goes wide on the racing line. He'll white line it. Puts it in the middle of the circuit. Superb defense. One opportunity coming up. He can't do it. Macaulay Bishop wins. An incredible defensive masterclass. Macaulay Bishop wins a spectacular race. Bishop second. Kai Hunter third place. Mehdi Lassoud spins across the line. The Frenchman drops down the order. Kai Hunter, what a recovery. He looked all but out of it. But in the CS55 car, which was launched by the now Williams Formula One driver, Carlos, at this very circuit 12 months ago, has taken a brilliant third place here today. We take a look at the highlights. Bishop from pole position. The KR Sport drivers, Archie Walker and Sean Butcher, second and third. Jort van Wyk making his way on through. Tino Seidler also in the battle earlier on. The Swiss driver would ultimately finish down in 10th place. Macaulay Bishop, as the KR Sport team drivers traded positions, Sean through on Walker, who would ultimately finish a commendable P4. Charlie Smith was off the road to finish down in 13th, which ironically was the same grid position he started. This move from Kai Hunter, briefly through on Walker. Jort van Wyk, corto passi, Sebastian Hedin taking him. Butcher in the grass, also almost into the Marshall point. Two DHR drivers, two KR Sport drivers. Macaulay Bishop, unintimidatable. As Kai Hunter went by Jort van Wyk, taking two down the main straight. Spectacular from the Brit. Bishop defended beautifully. He took victory, almost celebrating too early. Macaulay Bishop wins a spectacular Senior Max final here at Cremona. The Brits, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Butcher second. Hunter a superb recovery. The Hunter Motorsport driver home third. Archie Walker, a brilliant weekend. Sebastian Hedin, Alexander Dalberg at Motorsport. Jort, Thies van Wyk, the Dutchman, 6 and 7. And it was Aman Hamilton, the second Australian, Cameron Nelson, and Tino Seidler, after a strong weekend, heads home Nud Nielsen for the final position inside the top 10. Mac B from pole position takes victory in a thrilling Senior Max final here at Cremona. The Union Jack on our timing screen. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Bishop, Butcher and Kai Hunter in third. Stay with us, the podium presentation for Senior Max, live from Cremona in just a moment. Drivers making their way up to the podium. You can see the Union Jack 1, 2 and 3 here in a thrilling Senior Max final. If we conveniently ignore the fact that Sean Butcher is, well, in reality, he's Australian. The British-based Aussie second. That's the Union Jack 1, 2, 3. The drivers officially from Great Britain locking out the podium here at Cremona. They're making their way up to the podium from Parc Fermé. And we are ready to get underway with our final podium presentation of the afternoon here at Cremona, the Rotax Max Challenge Winter Series for Senior Max. In third place from the United Kingdom, the Englishman, Kai Hunter. Second place, also from Great Britain for KR Sport, Sean Butcher. A defensive masterclass from pole position. He wins a thrilling battle in Senior Max. From the Kings England for Dan Holland Racing, the winner here at Cremona, Macaulay Bishop. And representing his own winning team, Dan Holland. Third place for Hunter Motorsport from England, Kai Hunter. Second place, so from the United Kingdom for KR Sport, Sean Butcher. For Dan Holland Racing from England, the winner here at Cremona from pole position as well. Driving the 368 Lando Norris kart, Macaulay Bishop. And representing his own winning team, Dan Holland. The national anthem of the United Kingdom. Podium for Senior Max is an all-British podium. Third place, Kai Hunter. Second place, Sean Butcher, and the winner for Dan Holland Racing, also from the Kings England, Macaulay Bishop. A brilliant way to start the 2025 Rotax Max Challenge Winter Trophy season here at Cremona. A British podium to finish out. We'll see what changes when we go to the Leopard Viterbo International Circuit on the final weekend of March. That's the second race, the Rotax Max Challenge Winter Series. Rotax together with WSK Promotion. 203 drivers from around the world on a freezing weekend. Thanks for your patience, particularly on Friday in the pouring rain. We hope you've enjoyed the coverage. We'll see you at the end of March, north of the eternal city of Rome, Viterbo International Circuit for the Rotax Max Challenge Winter Series. We'll see you at Viterbo.